I don't care too much for notoriety, in my life, So I just try to keep it calm. My main goal, front page and magazine.
Yes, he made it.
You're a celebrity, huh?
You see what they get?
So we
Everybody in the
will
last
call
4 years.
together
Oh.
the meeting of Tuesday, the 18th of June, 4:30. And those that here are John, Steve, Val.
Abby's coming in.
You saw her, good.
She said she was coming up.
Jesse and TJ and Abby Cap will be here very shortly, and I'm here. So
No Ray today.
no.
Ray.
Are you gonna call on me, Madam Chair? Because if not, I'm
No.
just gonna go home. I'll save you the trouble.
Okay, so
When's your,
we
When are you gonna be on that
on the
magazine?
agenda. We have one thing to move, which is number 16 on new business. It's one of Val's, it's 2 Sackasha Avenue. So if I could have a motion to hold that until next Tuesday, that would be good.
So moved.
All right, and all those in favor? Yes, aye. Aye. Okay. There's no need to say all that jazz.
Public comment?
Yeah, because there's nobody to say it to. Or recording the meeting and all that stuff. So, unless one of you have a public comment.
I
you
do, Madam Chair. So I just like to suggest that we add to our agenda, that is already on, discussion of, HCC meeting time for future, the next meeting.
You want to discuss it at the next meeting?
Yeah, I'd like
Okay.
to discuss changing that.
Which way?
Later, right?
No, earlier and get out earlier. But we can't really discuss it, but that would be the discussion, is moving it up and getting out earlier with a hard backstop, so it's not creeping from, if we come a half an hour early. I don't want to get into the discussion because, well, I can say what I think. It's public comment. So the concept, at least at this point, is coming a little bit earlier and getting out a little bit earlier, but with a hard stop on the back end so that it doesn't just creep and we're just coming earlier and we're staying as late as we normally do.
Yeah.
The thought being that if it works for everyone, if we're gonna be here for 4.5 hours, would we rather come a little earlier and get home at a reasonable hour, or would we rather keep it as it is?
Well, somewhat just to consider between now and our whole discussion is the time that people who work and come with their applications can get out. I think we changed it. It used to meet at 5:30, then we went to 5, and then we went to 4:30. And that was back when we were at the high school luncheon place. And we thought it was hard for them to get to. It was hard. More people were still coming later because of, say, getting out of work and getting here. The rest of stuff, just
Sure.
as part of the discussion for next week.
So, it's interesting you comment, because one of the other things I was gonna say during public comment was, it seems that more and more it is professionals who come here, so it's part of their workday to represent applications. But part of the discussion may be that if people who aren't being represented need to come in, that they could actually sign up for the after 5 slot on the agenda, so that we can still do what we need to do and they can still be here without being interrupted in their personal lives. So I just,
If we could split it up like that, it would be good stuff that we handled without having applicants.
We should not discuss that.
I'm
on
not,
the agenda.
I'm not discussing it, I'm just sharing my points.
Your point is not on there. That's what I'm saying.
It is under public comment. That was my public comments,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yes.
Yeah.
So, and I've asked
Private
it,
citizen.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
and I've asked to put it on, I think it's broke. I asked to put it on the agenda, please.
Now for next week, it's going to be on the agenda. So the next thing is, consent, which is 1 through, 21.
I have to recuse.
That's one out, so that's 1, 2, 3.
These two guys. Can be on it.
Jesse, you
Jesse
want
and
to do
Steven.
that?
Jesse and Steven.
Okay,
So moved.
okay. Then,
I abstain.
and one abstention, 4, and 1 abstention. And the next one is, consent with conditions?
Should we vote on the consent? Did
Yeah,
do
we
that?
did.
Oh, we did? Oh,
Did we? I thought we did.
I don't know, I didn't say aye, but
Oh, all right.
aye.
Thank
There
you.
it is.
Thank you. So
Heard to
the
that.
next is consent with conditions 1 through 9. And who has to,
Me.
you have to do it again.
So motion to approve.
Motion
Consent
to
with
approve,
conditions.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you going to abstain?
Abstain.
Okay. Then number 4 is, signs. Mr. Kuster? Or,
Hello.
hello there.
Number 1 for Bloom is on hold.
Approved?
Hold.
Motion to hold.
Hold, okay.
34 Center Street.
You need 2 alternates. Who have 2 alternates?
It
It's
No,
just
is,
you don't need
Steven.
2, no, you need 1 alternate.
Tis I.
tis you,
Yeah, do all of them then.
and, so that's number 1. If I can have a motion to hold number 1.
So moved.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 2 for the theater project was recommended with comments for recommended for approval with comments.
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Question.
Aye.
Diane, I had a question.
Yes,
These banners, on all banners, no, but these here too. The banners that we had years ago, you had when you went across Main Street, one across Main Street, drugstores across the street. You had, for the hospital, you had one great big 8-foot thermometer, how much money they needed each year. And that was about it. And all of a sudden, everything is changing, getting out of the way. We're doing banners, which are not typical for Nantucket. They had a few, I've seen them. But to me, we keep bending and bending because of the politics behind it. And we all know what it is, too. You know, it's all coming from nothing but money.
That's
They're-
right.
they're the
well,
ones
does
that
the
want
NHA,
signs.
haven't they had banners for
Yeah.
10 years downtown?
Well, can you tell us about what they're attending with the banners?
The explanation that they have, and it fits within the category of banners that we can approve, and they were approved that they're up for their season, and that in the theater world, having banners for the theater is kind of a traditional thing, and they are a very thin scrim fabric that they go up for the season and they come down because they're very fragile. So it's kind of a temporary seasonal thing. So it fits within our guidelines, and where the precedent really started was with back when the NHA had banners that were built into their building as part of the approval. So we allow them, and we're just glad that they come and get them approved. So
And did you?
yes, we recommended approval for the banners.
All right, well, I'll say in lieu of that I approve of.
Okay, so that's
motion
for
to
number
approve this.
3, because we did number 2, but we need to approve number 3, which is the banners.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and it's and it's seasonal.
Yes.
Temporary.
So can we just address the motion that it be approved? Did you have any
Those
conditions?
were the comments, yeah. I mean, well, this particular applicant came in and met with us at least 3 times. So it's been really thoroughly vetted, which we try to do with everything we bring before you. Is
Sure,
to
no,
make sure that it's
not questioning.
so.
But their understanding is they're seasonal.
Yeah.
So
they
we
know.
so we could approve them subject to being seasonal.
Yeah.
And that encourages them to come back the next time with
Yeah.
subject matter, because if the banners are gonna change, I presume that these are different.
No, these are actually staying the same year after
Oh,
year. and
year
they have
after
to
year.
replace them with a clean, fresh one. It's sort of it's just a thin scrim with a silk screen, subtle copy on it. So it's not a.
Right.
It's more. I don't. What they tell me is it's like theater banners and things like that. They're more tech. It's not on the street. It's set back in the courtyard. So anyway, we recommended approval, for all those reasons.
We have
Okay,
approved banners for the,
Yeah,
For the-
motion to
Yeah.
approve.
thank you,
Right.
Kevin.
by
all
Water
those in
Street.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the last one is the Basket Museum.
That was recommended to hold. And then I'll talk some more about the whole various location temporary sign thing, separately. So, but, that was recommended to be held for right now.
Motion
Okay.
to hold for sign advisory.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
Question,
opposed?
So,
question.
you,
Number 1, you hold representation.
yep.
Yeah.
2 and 3
2 is approved with comments.
approved. Okay,
Yeah.
and number 4,
Held.
4 is hold.
hold it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good segue into the whole temporary sign and signs for different causes and events and purposes are stuck into the roadside, and it's very seldom that any of those come in for approval, and since there's no property owner, we have a hard time dealing with them. So we discussed this morning at our meeting to suggest, or just to tell you one of the things that we'd like to do. I think John's coordinating for us is to meet with the DPW, to talk about which of those things can simply be removed when they're on town property or they're somewhere else without us having to go through the process. So that's a discussion that we're trying to have on your behalf to try to limit some of these things that are popping up all over.
Like yard sale type?
That kind of stuff, yeah, because it's, there's, somebody has a sale and somebody tacks it up all over town, and it's sort of like we can't police that stuff, but yet it's affecting things. So we're going to have that dialogue. That was one of the motions that we made this morning, and I wanted to put that up with enforcement. John's been doing a great job with enforcement. We have, I think it's a couple dozen or so out there right now that we're simplifying. So we are trying to do the things that we can do to rein it in, and I think by and large, if you look around town today, by and large, there are some violators, but it's still holding together pretty well. So
Thank you.
anyway,
Do you
that's my
remember-
update.
Hey,
Thank you.
In the
Kevin,
past, do you remember in the past, we've had discussion, I thought it was when you, either chairman or here, that we had discussion about the temporaries and that they put them up for that day and they had to be
Yep.
removed by the end of the day. You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it just takes a while.
Yeah.
We'll
did
get
you
there.
guys do anything about the Sconset Road signs?
Yes, we've asked for a meeting with Mike Burns too to discuss that, because I think that's one of the things that will also fall under if should the town reestablish the other commission, the historical commission. That would be something that we would perhaps work with them on, because it's a broader thing, and they would ultimately probably look at those packages.
I think it should be
So,
taken down.
but one of the things that we did learn or I learned and everybody found out about was in 2012, around that time, town council made it very clear that we have jurisdiction over all signs. So It doesn't mean that we don't have it on a stop sign, but we can begin to say which kinds of materials should be used and whether they need to be the bright this or if there's another way to handle it in certain areas. So
Well, I noticed
that's a discussion that we're going to have
The
too.
scenic sign has got the arrow pointing
Anyway,
away.
I took enough of your time. Sorry.
The scenic.
Why do we
But
have any
come visit us
discussion?
Wednesday morning.
Why do we have any
there's like
discussion
two
with
different
them at
color
all?
oranges.
Just take them down.
I know.
Someone is trolling us at the sign place. They're trolling Nantucket.
We're going as the sign minions.
Kevin, was that?
Thank
you.
Kevin, I know you're running out the door, but was that legal information that you dug up and you recently found, or you're recalling from past?
It's just from the past.
If you happen to come across it, you could forward it to John.
Yeah,
That would be
I mean, there's been some. I should get at the other end because it's a good comment. There's been some fairly recent, Supreme Court decisions that if you allow it, if you allow signs for any particular purpose to be on your town's property, if you don't police it and it begins to, things creep in, that you could begin to have, groups putting signs up that maybe not, express what should be expressed on town property. So that's one of the things that we're trying to get ahead of because.
When you did something a few years ago, they put state signs, and we got them taken away.
Yeah. So that, it's a. But it's
It's a battle.
it's just change, and you have to kind of figure out how you're going to accommodate it there. So.
Thank you.
Kevin.
Yep.
Thank you. On 5,
Yes.
do we have a discussion on the house moving at 115 Baxter?
Yes.
I'm here to represent that.
And Mark
Oh,
Bourne is here.
okay.
If you'd like me to come to the table, I'll be happy to.
Unless you want to
Yeah.
yell from there.
Thank you very much for hearing this. Mark for Permits Plus, representing the applicant. I have some documents that I'd like to pass out to you both, and I thank you again for allowing us to come to the table to open this discussion. The components I just passed to you are twofold. One is a draft site plan of the repositioning of the house currently on 115 Baxter Road
Yes.
that is going to be shifted over to 117 Baxter Road, which is currently vacant.
Good.
The other copies of photographs are current conditions that were taken about 3 weeks ago. I was engaged last Monday to get involved in this. We have a team, including Art Gasparo, to do all the site engineering. Stephen Cohen, who's going to be representing the licensing and the ZBA component, and myself working with you and the building commissioner. I sent just moments ago an email from Paul Murphy to John that effectively says, dated June 18, 2019, to the Nantucket Historic District Commission. I have reviewed the photographs sent to my office regarding the dwelling referenced above. It is obvious from the photographs that the dwelling is in imminent danger of collapsing into the ocean. Emergency measures should be taken immediately to relocate the dwelling to a safe location. Please feel free to contact my office should you have any further questions.
Oh, this is good.
So this house was built circa 1940. It has been moved once forward on its lot, and the proposed plan is to shift it over to 117, move it outside of the property line, front yard setback, which requires both the licensing and selectman's office as well as the relief from the zoning board of appeals. This is not anything unusual for things that have happened on that side of Baxter Road. So we're not looking at something that we think that we're going to have any opposition to. I've already done the abutter notification. I have the certified mailing with me. I did that yesterday. And we are prepared to file 1 or 2 applications before you when I understand what you'd like us to do. Obviously, if it's moving off of 115 to 117, you might require 2 applications. Move on, move off, you might not. But we won't have any road closures or any road movement as part of this. The reason for the shift is we need to get the building off the foundation into a place where we can build a new foundation, and we can't do that in its current location.
Mark, out on your site plan here, the little green line, there are 2 green lines. One is dotted and the other's got crisscrosses on it. Which one is which?
Let me take a peek at that.
The red is the proposed location.
The red is the proposed location on the left-hand side of the page.
Yeah.
That's on 117.
Yes.
So the green lines are effectively where the actual line of the top of the bluff is now.
That's what the
I mean, it's
green
within-
line is with the
Yeah,
crisscross.
it's within 4 feet of the back of the house.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be moving that one.
And
I wouldn't want to move it either.
what's
so-
the dotted green, which goes through where you're going to move this house?
Across the street.
Yeah, no, it's not across the street. It's next door. It's closer to the lighthouse in and of itself. One of the things that we probably should include in the discussion here today is if we have difficulties or an impossibility to actually physically move this place, that we include a demolition component as part of our discussion. That is obviously not what the client and the homeowner wants to do at this point in time, but to put everything on the table. This is emergency situation here,
Yeah.
and it's beyond where we should be now in terms of the permitting and approval process, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't have a problem with this, so if it's just for information purposes today, I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's an emergency.
Does anybody have any problems with allowing this to happen?
No.
No.
Can I get a,
Madam Chairperson, I have a question.
yes,
What I'm looking at here, we don't have a locus, so I don't know where it is on.
It's
back-
it's
no,
the.
wait, let me finish.
I appreciate that.
This red mark here is where you want to put the house?
That's correct.
It's existing over here?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
that's it?
Yeah, well, no,
Okay.
the house was named appropriately.
Yes.
Cliffhanger.
Yes. Cliffhanger. Exactly right.
Motion to approve the emergency move
Okay.
from 115 to 117 Baxter Road.
And what, just do the paperwork in the office?
I guess, well, you don't have all your information yet, it's just for to get this approval to move it off.
I need to file 1 or 2 applications depending upon how you want to do this. A move off and a move on.
I think that's what the building department will want.
They haven't expressed that at this point because we're moving, very fluidly and rapidly to try and get this thing done. But if I would think that would be the protocol that you would want.
Yeah.
I've already done the abutter notice, so it's just a matter of taking this information that I'm giving you today, compiling it with the site plan and a locus plan, and the abutter notification components, the fee to do both, and submitting that to the staff if that's the way you would like that to be.
I think that's the best way to do it.
And we'll hold the demo until you come up with more information as to what it is.
I'm not sure why you would do that, because that again is going to be fluid. If we lose 3 more feet on the top of the bank, it's going, and you have nothing to say about it. It's done.
Why did we wait until it got to this?
Well, anyway, let's,
Let's do the motion that we have to approve this.
A motion to approve with the proper filings through staff.
From 115 Baxter Road to
As
117.
a move off or demo.
It's a move off.
and demo. I think we really have to include the demo aspect here. We're
Right.
so tight on time. If anything happens,
Demolition.
Right.
that we really need to not have to run back in here and say, God, we've got to demo this thing. We don't want to do that, and hopefully it's not going to happen.
It's a terrible mess on the beach.
Madam Chairperson,
Yes.
could we amend any motions that have been made that we hold this up to a 60 days? Because we
No,
can't
this
approve.
is emergency, Johnny. They're asking for it immediately because they're going to lose the house. They can't wait 60 days.
Okay, but my question is, how can we approve something without an application, even if you file one?
They're going
They
to,
should have filed
You don't,
one.
I think in an emergency.
My motion was that we are okay with it. If he could file it through staff, they could sign off on it as a demo, move off, and a move
right,
on.
I got it. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yes.
I mean, I can't sign off on any applications,
Well,
unfortunately. which-
somebody can.
Typically, when these have been approved, it's been with the understanding that the applicant will come back with the
He'll,
proper.
Mark will
which
come back in
application
and sign
to-
whatever has to be
Right,
signed.
so he it sounds like he's already actually in
And
the process of
if
going
it
through the
needs a
correct
signature of a chairman, to call
Yeah.
me and I'll
Right,
come
Be
get it.
there.
yeah, well, it'll just come to a meeting and be formally approved. This
If-
is,
yeah,
to
if he's got
expedite
time.
really the permitting
Because
process
it's kind
with
of
the.
wobbly out
So are
there.
we going to come back to a meeting? Is
No,
it-
just
No.
come back
Staff
and
approval.
sign the application.
Oh, yeah, I intend to do that. I
Okay.
just wanted to know if you wanted 2 applications or 1 application with regards
I
to
think two.
shifting the building. I think so too.
One
Yeah.
to move
Um,
on,
And one
move
to
off,
Right.
or demo, and one to move on.
Right.
You may never need the move on.
You never need the demo.
That's my motion, Madam Chair.
All right.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Well,
Okay, Mark, there you go.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It is done.
Appreciate your consideration.
All right, so now the next,
okay.
see what the hell happened tonight?
Just write a letter, you know, the chairman.
Here,
does
it got
at our
sucked
meeting,
in.
yeah, such
Here.
and such, we approve the
Thank you,
emergency.
sorry.
We
All
don't
right.
have a representation for this, do we? Do we
Oh,
have
Mike
Randy
Duffy
Sharp?
or-
Oh,
No,
wait.
where am I? Randy Sharp,
Shorn?
yeah. Cornwall.
do you wanna hold this till they come in?
Yeah, we'll just take a thing to hold for representation,
Yeah,
okay?
motion to hold for representation, 76 Pulpus Road.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then that goes for the next one too, the new dwelling, the demo
Yeah,
of the
the
dwelling
both
and the new
things.
dwelling.
What about David Butler? Representing himself with new
Number
fence?
3?
Yep,
Motion to hold for representation, 8
Okay.
Salrose Road.
8 Salvos. What, and David Silver? He's, living top of shop, pool house and pool. So
Motion to
we'll
hold
hold
for
him.
representation.
Yes. All right, Walter, 30 Evergreen Way. I
They're all
don't
gonna
see
come
him
in
here.
later.
Motion to hold for representation.
Jan Leschi,
Motion to hold for representation.
No.
Where are
No,
you?
no, Niall, not Niels.
I'm
Oh, he's
still
here.
on Sylvia.
So was I. It was about all of these being held
Oh,
for
we almost
representation.
missed
Where
it.
are we?
we're at number 7.
65 Squam.
Do I have to sit up here?
No. You sit next to me.
Where's Ray?
Ray, I don't know, where is Ray?
He is in Florida seeing his father.
He's where?
He's in
Visiting his
Florida.
dad for Father's Day.
Here you go.
There you go.
Bloody.
What are you doing?
I'm,
Oh, this one.
This goes with that.
Fence? What?
TJ, you on this or Steve?
TJ.
yeah, I think I'm on it.
Okay,
Do we have pictures? Okay.
Is this one falling into the water?
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
no,
emergency.
This house right down the middle there or something?
Looks like it, yeah.
The red represents two.
There you go.
Yeah, it must be.
In case you don't know where it is.
I don't know.
No, this is for windows.
Which one of the
Good question.
Windows in a
documents
garage.
is on this one?
John, you've seen
TJ.
this before,
TJ,
200 years ago.
and then it'll be Steve's.
Nice location. Ooh, look at that moon.
All right, anybody ready to begin?
No, because
He's gotta
we've
present.
gotta take what's here and make it a
Yeah, you have to present your project. Don't you want him to present, Diane?
No, I just
He's a
want to
road
know if
scholar.
I do, Abby, I just want to know if these were ready, and then do begin here.
Okay. Existing building. And the client wants to bring more light by changing the windows and doors in size on several elevations. And he wants to expand an existing garage by 50 square feet so he can get 2 cars in. And the
So
drawing-
this is what exists, and this
Yeah,
is what's
the
proposed.
The drawings, the one on the top is what exists, and the one on the
This
bottom is
exists.
what's proposed.
Right, sometimes it's good if you just put a
Railings.
little bubble around it, but this is good.
That was added. That was added.
It's pretty straightforward.
No, that's
Yeah, but there's some
yeah, look at
oddball
that copper roof.
Yeah, what's
windows, like,
in the front door as well? What are you changing? What is the front door style to be?
The front door is gonna be solid, and those are flanking panels,
Are those glass panels?
yeah,
All the way down?
yeah.
we jumped ahead
I should
to
mention,
7.
that
But they might come back
you
before
might have a look at the site and the locus. The only reason that any of this, I think, is possible is that you can't see it. And it's certainly,
Can't see any of it?
no, it's on this Clom room.
I know right down to the water, and then you turn left to go up the hill, and, it looks like from the site plan, that's where this is. So,
It's between, what used to be shelters and that French provincial with a slate roof.
Yes.
wait, what's the red line that separates the plot?
She's
That's
talking
right there.
about the locus
plan.
map. Is that 2 lots or?
That's, I don't know what that red line is.
Yeah.
Well, this red line is a wetlands remark. This property is actually a wetlands commission as well. So I'm not even sure that some of these compositions are gonna be agreeable with that. But I won't get it through
Oh, I
first.
see.
There's the only public property you can stand on and see any of the building from is the beach.
Right,
And you have to stand on the top of the bluff to see.
do you know where in this lot it's going to be?
It exists. It's right at the end.
Right down by the beach, that's the house, okay.
Yep.
Yes.
And this
Okay.
red line means what? They're not subdividing it?
Right through the middle. No, they're not. I don't.
No, because that line
no.
goes right through the middle of the house.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't say what that is. I never saw it before.
I know, it's actually an improvement over that. I think.
Abby, are you,
Well, I just,
It's
no,
just a dimensional line.
I believe, Neil, that, that
you
it
look
prob-
at it?
we probably can't see it, but I'm
It's
just
a rough
wondering if,
dimension.
because these are
They
odd,
drew a dimension
odd,
line in the locus software for the front. There's a dimension,
you know,
in the back there's a dimension.
renovation
Request.
windows, maybe we should take a view and just,
I think that's a good idea.
just off the top of my head, that's.
We have a motion to consider, I don't know if you want to do it now or have something to say about the building.
I wanna say something. status. I don't think approving things to make it even more unusual is acceptable. This dormer is way out of scale, and it looks to me like with these two little windows stuck against it, and it looks like a metal roof.
Which one are you on?
I'm on the north.
Oh,
I don't think that's it, and personally, from the photos, I think the first floor, there may be a little give, because you don't see it, but you definitely do see the second floor. So on the north, that big dormer arrangement with the two little,
I don't think actually you'll be able to see that from anywhere.
Well, if
well,
we do
we're
a
gonna
view,
view
we're
it,
going to go.
but these
have
are
a
just comments. I think changing a lot of the double hung to casement is rather curious, and they're an odd proportion of casement with the very narrow, long, skinny.
what is the reason for changing them to those,
I don't know.
is it an architect?
That's the artichoke. This guy.
Artichoke.
Yeah.
Artichoke?
If you could see
That's
the
his
display, I
plan.
wonder where these pictures would take.
I
Right.
mean, I told him that.
Yes.
Yo, can you tell me where these pictures were taken?
I took them in March or April. You can see the vegetation's all completely down.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. I just wondered, it seems pretty clear. So were you on the property?
I was standing on the beach below the property. I was standing on the bluff.
Okay,
The
so.
beach is actually
You
like
could
6
see it
feet.
all then.
Right, and so with that said, the second floor in particular, I think some of the things are okay. On the south, changing the windows to doors with, this flat rail thing is okay,
Pretty
but
ugly.
do these windows need to be triangles? Now they're little eyebrow windows.
No, they're going the other way. They are those Anderson ellipses.
That's what I just said. Do they need to change to this? That's very unusual.
Change them back. Yeah,
And I don't really understand the canted deck with the kittywampus brackets on the south, but
The building, I think, is at an angle.
oh.
Doing a view?
I
Or
just
the
think the
deck
second
edges,
floor needs to be thought about.
Is that all?
That's it, yeah.
TJ, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on this. I'm interested to see the visibility. I don't think you're going to be able to see it at least from Squam Road. Can I see that?
That's
The
on the
beach
bluff.
is
That's-
a,
that's-
They're standing on the bluff, which
private
is
property.
public property.
No, not according to.
Yeah,
What?
there's.
Legislation says jurisdiction is from a beach, doesn't state dunes or bluffs or, it just says a beach.
Well, what
And
about when you're
tech-
in a boat?
And technically,
Yeah, well, there-
yeah, if you're
Beach
on
from
the
the beach
public
or
body of
road.
water.
Oh, sorry.
That's one thing. But he's standing, I
And if
think,
we've learned nothing else.
And I
from
otherwise
that-
agree with
Yeah,
Val,
point.
what she said. I don't like the triangle windows. And
Well,
I
I think
think it
he's
is
taking the
odd
pictures,
going to the
like,
casement
right there.
windows. So that's those are my
Right.
comments.
Abby,
I agree with that.
all right. Johnny,
Motion to view it,
okay. I
before you do anything.
I agree with what has been said. I think that the I think the casement windows are not
yes.
proper. I think what I don't know what that is.
It's showing that the house continues and then
that's
connects
down.
again on a bend.
I think he's
Yeah.
taking that down
But
here.
this is the, to me, the biggest
Yeah.
thing.
But
And
he was on the board. with
And the
us, so-
dormer
Really?
and
5 foot.
somewhere you can see
You can totally see that.
the decks are sort of like somebody put them up at night.
Yeah, I think it's already taking an odd architecture and making it odder. I think
Just because they
Val's
can.
right, it's
Yeah,
just going.
and just looking at these pictures, some of the angles are down at the beach. He's taking that harder.
And they have that what Which one is this?
The angularity of the house is determined
Is
by the
this-
wetlands and bluff setbacks.
On the south elevation,
That's why it
you have
jerks around.
the 4 windows or doors on the right, and then you've got the deck that only goes to the front, and the next
It's
set.
just a railing.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't come out. It's like a railing tacked on the wall.
and then this one goes all the way over. I don't know. And why is this so dark?
Well, it's an indent
This is when all the vegetation.
as it exists.
But it shows you, I don't know where it is, there's like 2 skylights on the same side.
Well, they're already there.
John,
So we will
take it from the
go,
top of the block with a max, with a big camera. Did you guys see
Yeah, I do think that it needs to be thought of.
I think that it is,
That answers my comment
Yeah.
so
about the
we
second
will
floor.
have a motion, if I could have motion, Abby's motion to hold for,
Johnny made a motion to do.
Madam Chairperson,
yes,
I want to make a statement. I was out Mr. Buchan's property out there
yeah,
3 days ago, and I saw part of this, and I walked the beach.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
on view.
East, the north, the east, and the west is highly visible, right from the beach. I didn't look at it from the road, but I will. Thank you.
okay, so we have Johnny's motion to hold for a view. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any
A view.
opposed?
A motion for a view.
Okay, so Stephen?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I don't think I was on this.
No,
No,
this one,
I'm jumping ahead to the next one.
Oh, thank you.
She's jumping.
And this is where, is that you?
Stay
Yes,
dry
please.
next couple of days? Wet.
Karen, you?
Mr. Plandowski,
I am gonna recuse from this. This is a client of mine.
Client of mine.
Okay, so it's Stephen.
It's okay, I like it.
Stephen, you're on
Yeah.
this one.
And Jess.
I've had it for a while.
Yeah. Hi, Karen, welcome.
Adverse possession.
Here you go.
Don't.
You know, sometimes even a broken clock can be right twice a day.
So do you want to tell us about it?
Sure, it's on Thistle Way, which is in, it's in a very tight subdivision of houses, are really close together. It's only on the south side, not the front of the house, and it's not visible from anywhere. You can't see it from Rugged Road because there's such a berm of trees between it, and they're high. I looked, I don't see any visibility possible. And as always, they're all black panels.
Karen, on page, your third page in. Your first page and your third page in. What am I looking at with the panels?
Third page, is this one? You see that?
Yeah.
This- Okay, what are you looking, there's two,
Are there 3 roof planes being
no,
represented?
there's two. It's a steep roof, like a 45-degree, 12, and then it goes to a porch roof.
Oh, it's 1.5 story, and then there's a shed roof, and then there's
Yeah.
a small shed off the shed.
Teeny little, teeny
Okay,
little shed.
I remember the house
Yeah.
now. Okay. Oh, here's the picture.
What is the,
So this is this.
what is the
Is this.
hole
It's just
in the
sticking out.
roof
And
of that,
This.
The little hole on
is
the
this.
top is a
little, with the
yeah,
little white
PVC.
dots?
It's a PVC
And
vent that we
this
can't cover. We have to go around. They have to
this.
be a certain height, those vents, and
This.
we can't
this.
cover it.
Okay. Is somebody ready to begin, or have other questions?
I have just one other general question. Are you,
This is all here. There's a line here.
are you going for solar on the front of the house? Is
No.
that- So
And
that's
there's
the
a
back
little
of the house
piece
then?
here.
Yeah, it's the side of the house. The front is.
So there's 3 areas of roof, all on the back.
The front is southwest.
And that's with that, So southwest, okay.
So,
Are,
You're
are
on
any,
this-
are any
it's really
panels
tall here.
intended for the southwest elevation?
no, they're all on the one side, which is this. As you're facing the house, it's on the right side of the house. As you're facing the front, there's nothing on the front of the house.
Are these panels as we've seen them before?
Yeah, all
This is
black.
the one, I want to see, this here is this.
This is this
Abby,
this
got any
part.
Well, from looking at
This
this,
part.
it looks like they will not be seen,
Okay.
uh,
Now, where's the-
unless this, I'm looking at the street view on the second page,
Yeah.
and it looks
Did they
like
tell me that?
you will not see the solar panels unless,
Everything looks like it's in the back or side, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shot's not even a street
Here's
view.
the
That's
small
in
one.
the driveway,
Here's the second one, and here's the third one.
right, Karen?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you, Jesse.
The street view shot, view from driveway, that's a driveway shot. That's not even from a public way.
Right, it's all very clustered, this little subdivision.
Look at that.
So it's very tight. That's the furthest away it could get.
oh, dense brush between.
Because that's
road and
part
Can I
of the
comment?
rugged Scott development, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
May I
Yes,
comment,
it is.
Madam Chair?
Oh, let me just finish, Jesse, and then you certainly may.
Okay, because I'd like to get moving.
I'm okay with it.
Okay. Yes.
I managed this community for a number of years. There's going to be extremely limited visibility, and since everyone's comment, I'll make a motion to approve as submitted, subject to limited visibility.
Well, let me just ask Johnny what he
Yeah,
has.
I have a comment, yes. When I am all for solar, if you can put it in the ground, put it there. If you can put it in the roof, put it there. We have, when people come in, nothing personal, they come in, you can't see it. A lot of, 10 people come in here a week, can't see it. 6 months later, there it is. All right, and this is on the top of the house, and I'm saying you should always view them first, other than location where the roof is. If it's, you know, a lot of times we run into that situation. 6 months later, I repeat it. Here's the building with what we couldn't see. Well, nothing personal. I just think we should, when they say that, we should go out there and view it. All right, it's on the 3rd floor, not the 2nd, like I always said. The 3rd floor can be seen also from a traveled way or road.
It's a 1.5 story, and so it's on the it's second and first.
2nd story
It's
stops at the gutter line. Then you start a 3rd story.
There's no third.
The attic is a 3rd story.
Look, that's the here and here. This, and it's
Right.
like a half. I don't call it a 1.5.
Okay, look at the next page. No, the next. Above it. What's above that one? Right there. See that? You see that gutter line going along there? No, the on the right.
Yeah.
That one. That's the end of the 2nd floor. And then you go into a 3rd floor.
Oh, I see
in
what
the
you're
attic.
saying.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why I am skeptical when a lot of times that those comments are made if it's not visible. And
Well,
I'm
if
very
we-
strong in those points, and that's one of my strong points. Always has been, probably always will be. I'm not against solar, but just, you know, you should go look to be sure. There's a lot to put there.
If we
You're doing what?
make a motion to approve, we can always,
We have a motion on the floor.
yeah, that he might possibly want to add subject to visibility.
I believe my motion was to approve as submitted, subject to limited visibility.
Okay,
Actually, I'm quite sure that's what I said.
all right. Do we have a motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, can I clarify what that means?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the application says that solar panels are on the side of the house with no road visibility.
Right.
And it says dense brush between road and house prevents any view from road. So I'm saying limited visibility, which is at least a slightly lesser threshold than that.
Val's point, which came in late.
I can't speak on it.
You can speak as a public person.
Well, not if you refused. She
Well,
refused, so she can't speak.
It is a wood roof, so it will be, slightly jumpy looking.
Madam Chairperson,
Yes.
I have a comment to add because I missed something. Where is the documentation of the company and the description that goes with the application to explain how they are?
I think it was on.
You have a permit,
It was
you can
on-
use silver on that if you want, if you can, okay?
Last page,
It is documented, John?
is this what you're looking for, the last page?
Yeah, okay.
Did you see that?
Yeah, it's all
Does
there.
that one have silver around it,
No,
the photo?
no.
No,
That was
it's the
question.
same one she usually uses. It's,
Yeah.
I asked her that, and
Aluminum black frame.
Thank you.
so, all those in favor, we did that.
Yeah,
Nobody
I
was-
said aye.
John was opposed.
No, I
No,
I'm
all right.
in favor.
Oh,
You wrote subject to visibility, I added
I
limited,
have, I have why I am
Okay.
so
just so you know.
independent in my thinking, because I,
Okay, so the next one is
Thank you.
about Italian poem,
Karen.
and
You're
Lisa
welcome.
is,
She's probably away too.
who's this?
Lisa,
Lisa, oh,
could I have a motion just to hold
motion to hold 3
9 and 10
Wires Way. Yeah, 9 and 10,
for representation?
or, yes.
Okay, and the next one is March on 85 North Sankaty Road.
Oh, he's not here.
We got somebody
Oh.
here,
He's here.
down that end of the table. So, that was you two, so we mark around, this is now
Here, Steve.
TJ.
Me?
TJ, yes. Let me just read this, and then you tell us what you're doing.
Okay.
This is the main house. In general, this design is too much for Wisconsin and doesn't connect. Also, too tall for the neighborhood at 29 feet. Massing and height are too severe. Has a townhouse feel. If revisions occur, please let SAB review them. And that was Bob Benson, Carrie Ellis, Mary Wills, and Michael May before he goes.
Yeah,
So, tell us what's going on.
Basically, new home, located at 85 North Sankaty Road, or 80, it's 85 Sankaty Road. It's on the northern lot. It's a subdivided lot. I know that the southern lot, I believe, has been allocated for a house that's eventually going to be moved over from Baxter. And we surveyed the street. I would say that a good portion of those homes up and down the road do vary between. There actually are some good height because they aren't small, including some new construction closer to the village. So I'm not really concerned with height. We do have some additive massing. Trim is gray. It's a black sash, wood roof, and cottage corner structure. There is a garage as proposed, which would be in the front of this building, which is common with a lot of these structures, where the secondary structure is forward of the main house, which will obviously screen part of this building. And they are proposing to keep the vegetation as much as they can along the front edge, just from privacy of the road.
We have a site plan. Far out.
yeah, it is.
And the garage is in front of the,
That's correct. Yeah, garage studio is proposed to be in front of the main house.
okay, you wanna begin?
Sure. I did go out there and, there are some tall structures, however, this is a non-typical massing, especially for sconset. I feel like you have to vary it a little more, Mark.
Yep.
These little indents with the connector pieces, I think are somewhat curious. I think you did that on something out on Bishop's Rise, and that's a different sort of architectural style out there.
Yep.
the changing of the materials to horizontal boards, I wouldn't be in favor of. I wish the colors were different. I always think of Sconset as white as opposed to black, but I'm not as concerned about the back wing because that is a one-story structure and that vegetation is quite tall now, although nothing ever seems to remain when it comes to the end of the day.
Yep.
But I think a more typical additive massing arrangement
Where's the front door?
would work in your favor. Because the middle piece of the building, which is 29, is not that huge.
That's
So-
supposed to be your main part of the building,
Right.
right? This is a wing office?
Yeah, that's the back, goes off
Yeah.
the back, but these are the sides, what you see from the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
it.
TJ,
Val said it all very well. I agree with all of her points, but I'll reiterate, like the linking pieces where you've gotten into the additive massing, I think seems inappropriate for Sconset, as do the horizontal boards and likewise the color scheme. I'd like to see it maybe something a little bit less bold for Sconset. It seems inappropriate.
Color-wise, you're saying?
Yeah.
And boldness?
Abby,
I agree with my fellow board members. I would like to see consistent, just regular old shingles. It's the main massing that concerns me, that it's so blockish and not very Sconset. Whereas on the back wing, I guess it's the north elevation where it goes back, and on this, as it goes back, it looks really like additive massing. It looks very sweet and very Sconset.
Yep.
So it's just that middle massing that it's drawing my eye to it, and it doesn't really relate back to what you've done so well. So
Okay.
I would like to see that sort of rethought.
Johnny,
Yes,
what,
where's the front door? What elevation?
It was the west elevation, John. So, right there.
This is,
Yes, correct.
you want a stone door?
They wanted a solid channel groove door. Yeah.
Thank you. That's my comment.
talking about the front door, I would like to see just a little more trim around it, so it looks like a front door, not like a back door or whatever. I agree with what Val said about the changing of the wood. It's a good house, but it doesn't knock me over as being a sconce type. I don't know what to do. I'd like to see it come down to less than, do we have a height
It's
limit?
29.
No, I know what it is. Do we have a height limit in areas of sconces?
Should be 30.
It's a regular height?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Being that it does go to 30, but if you could drop it down somewhat, I would like to see it.
I think it's actually only 20 feet tall, so it's all cottages out there.
Yeah.
29 feet in.
20. 20 feet.
So, and the roof is going to be
Wood.
a cedar,
That's correct.
cedar roof,
Which is
okay.
good.
White cedar, actually, yes.
So, can I
Oh,
entertain
motion
a
to vote
motion?
for revisions?
Yes.
Sure.
All those in favor
Aye.
of revisions?
And do you
Aye.
want it to- do you
Anybody
wanna track
against?
the other
And
things
we
you
have
want
to
us look
submit
at?
it again.
I wouldn't mind, I
Sam.
think, comments on the garage.
The garage is next.
Yeah, if that would be all right.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you.
They say about the garage. Dormer is a problem. Portion of windows is off. This is the most visible side, Sanctity Road side. 2, windows on first floor A would be preferable. Garage door treatments aren't consistent. We think 24 feet high is too tall for a garage. And that's it, same group is there. Everybody get those things? Do you want to begin again?
Okay. I think with the exception of the height, what's facing the street is the west, although, are these
What dormer
casements?
there?
Dormer is a problem,
Must
proportion
be
of
that.
windows. Yeah,
Big dormer, little windows, I
maybe
guess.
those could become double hung or something.
It's there's not a lot of wall face to that dormer because of the broken back of the second mast that.
Right, but I think you can drop that, it's a 5 pitch now, maybe make it a 4, and it would give you more, wall face there, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
More than anything, it's the comparison of this to the main structure, and I think 24 was the size of your wings.
Yeah.
So this does seem to sort of take over that a little bit, especially being in front of it, so I guess anything you could do to mitigate height and its overall mass would be good.
Okay.
Right, because, what is this? Does this come in at 24?
Yeah.
Yeah. TJ?
I'll stick with my same comment on the color scheme, but I'm also looking at that west elevation. And I don't know if the windows in the dormer need to become double hung, but there seems something odd with the arrangement and massing arrangement there. So maybe you could take a look at some revisions on that. And that's all.
I
Otherwise,
think maybe
that's
we
good.
split that dormer.
What,
I think that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Balance the
nice.
windows out between the
treatments
two.
aren't consistent?
Maybe it's
What
the
kind of garage door?
I think that's part of it.
They look the same.
Do to me too, unless it's the door. I mean
The little thingy? All right,
Make it
Abby.
Yeah, I'm not an architect, but so I don't really, but it does look odd, the little B windows. They don't look balanced to me, and they look minuscule compared to the A, so I'd like to see some kind of uniformity there. And I think initially I thought the A windows on the east elevation looked overwhelming, especially on the second floor, but I would prefer it to relate back to the what you've already chosen for your main.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that's an A, and
That's correct.
just that the 1A window on the bottom floor it doesn't seem to relate to the other windows in the pattern, so it looks a little off to me.
On the, I'm sorry, on the west elevation?
East-
Or the east elevation, okay.
East
Yep.
elevation, that one window just seems
The
sort
bottom of
of
the stair. All right.
On the,
unsettled.
On the east. Yep.
on the east
First
elevation
floor.
or the west?
East, first floor.
Okay, because we got a window, they say here, that the garage door treatment aren't consistent. Sanctity Road side, window on first floor A would be preferable to the windows up above, I guess. I think, to make much sense what
No.
you're saying. But anyway, question about the windows. Johnny?
Oh, I just wanted to
No,
ask
it's
this.
the 2 windows would be preferable.
On the east elevation.
Yeah.
Is this a,
Yeah.
is
Three-
this
2 to
recessed?
3
It is
windows.
recessed, that's a porch.
Okay,
At the
on the
entrance, yeah.
first floor. This is
Where
on
by
the
that column.
west.
Where is that? I don't see that.
Right there.
Oh, that's right
Yep.
there.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
the entrance.
You got your answer?
There's a recess on the door to the building on the south. If that's recessed to the right of the garage.
Yeah.
So, sorry, 2 windows is what,
They said 2 to 3.
on the
On the
west
first
elevation?
floor
Got it.
Which elevation?
of the west elevation.
Would be preferable.
Okay.
On this one?
Yes,
One-
yes.
We've got two doors in the garage.
Yes, correct.
One is accessible to the, where the garage is, and the other accessible as the front door. Am I correct?
Which doors are you talking about? That's second floor plan, so we do the two garage doors,
All right,
main entry, then we have a man entrance, if you will, to the garage from the
this is
outside.
the main entry.
That's correct, to the
Right.
finished space.
Could this one door be changed to a more typical door than
It would be,
all the like?
it would be that one there.
Yeah, could you change that? That would be the most popular used.
Yeah, we put sort of a side door looking door, we thought, for that, given it was a garage, but, we could look at that.
What are you gonna put there?
I'll give it some thought. I don't know yet.
Is it,
Maybe we've matched the main house.
Okay.
This panel?
No. Doesn't feel right there.
When they talk about the garage doors are consistent, are they talking that one garage has a little
Bigger than the
roof
other?
and the other part of it doesn't?
No. I'm not sure what they mean by
who
that
drew
comment.
this?
Yeah. No, we know who drew it, but I don't understand their comment.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why they're saying they think that the two doors are inconsistent.
Well, they
well, I
say,
don't know why they're different sizes.
they just say garage door treatments are consistent, which makes it,
Yeah, one has a shed.
Well, we were trying to make one look primary, the other it looked like it was added later, just a simpler detail.
I see.
Yeah, that's why we did that,
Bicycles,
versus
stuff
having
going in
another
there.
overhang didn't seems busy.
I don't mind.
frankly.
Do you mind that?
No.
I prefer it when it says, and it's stepped back, so.
Is it facing this, do you see it from the street?
No, you don't see those from the street, they're
It
interior
is
to
a
the
little
yard.
odd to have two garage doors, but
Well, I didn't want to do a two-car garage mass, so we were trying to do a main mass, the garage in it, and then the attachment, which is what we did.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a motion to hold for revisions.
Okay.
yes,
Thank
All
you.
those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
and back to Sconset, right?
Now, and back to Sconset when we finish. Now we have the cabana.
Yes, please.
we're fine with the cabana, but no pool.
Yeah, there's a pool
Fair
next.
enough. Yeah, the pool we don't need to really look at until
No,
later.
it
I'm
seems,
not concerned, it will be tucked in there.
yeah.
can
Unlike the
try.
one on Maury Lane, which is getting a lot of attention.
It's being installed now.
No, it's in.
Oh, well, you know,
Purple
we
lights.
approved it.
Oh, yeah.
You're never gonna see it.
We
One
don't approve
behind
purple
the
lights.
hedges down
No way.
the driveway there.
It's not our jurisdiction.
There,
Can be seen in the
for,
public way.
from Shab, there are no comments,
Okay. No news is good news.
so.
Well, I guess once the house is up, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
although I wanna see the colors match whatever he comes
Yeah, I
up
agree,
with.
obviously. Yep.
And is this a roof?
It's an open raftered National Weather frame
Okay.
in between. So white cedar shingles left and right with the cedar interior frame open.
It's natural to weather.
That's correct, yes.
I wonder if you can see that from,
The back of the lot, I don't know if I mentioned it, but there are wetlands here. We have to, all that vegetation is protected to the rear of the property.
did this lot get subdivided?
It is, yeah, it's a subdivided lot. So this is the northern part of the lot.
So I'm just wondering from Baxter Road if there's any visibility.
I would say, I think you'll see the main house, but I don't know that you'll see this cabana, given that we have to keep all that vegetation as it backs up.
we could make that part of the
Yeah.
approval, that
Oh.
We
keep the
can do it.
vegetation.
And it's a lot, it's a full lot back too from Baxter Road. There's a property behind it.
So you got anything you want to mention?
Well, I could just say that just because it's a little bit modern to have those rafters, that it can't be seen from Baxter Road. That would be my motion.
You sit
Then they
back.
could make
I
it
got
into
Johnny.
lattice.
Donnie, have you got something to say?
No,
No?
not on this one.
So
Did I
do-
just make a,
No, make your motion,
okay, motion to approve
right.
with the proviso that you cannot see it from Baxter Road.
But we don't know what color.
And colors will match the approved main house.
Yes, please.
Right, because we're
Not
not
to
sure.
draft your motion, but
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not
that's where you're headed,
complete,
right?
we're
Yeah.
not sold on the black
Yeah.
yet, completely, okay.
So, and now the last one is the pool.
We can hold, why don't we just track, unless you want to approve the pool, but why don't we, do you want to track that based on what the main house ends up doing, does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm comfortable with
Can I
that.
have a motion
That's
to
easy, I'm
track
not
the
really worried
pool?
about that one.
So
The main house.
moved.
Did we actually vote on Abby's
Not
motion?
Really?
For the associate position.
Oh, I'll say aye.
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 Sorry.
You should.
I'm on the sign advisory.
There you
I can
go.
only do so much.
Can you make a motion and then not?
No, I wasn't complaining, right?
No.
So,
A quick question, just in Sconset colors. If it were a white trim, black sash, feels
Oh,
Sconset.
no.
What, really?
White and white.
Really? Oh,
White.
I would have thought the black in Sconset, just as a general comment.
No.
Black
Feels-
nowhere.
Really?
I think
That's
it's
interesting.
overused and
It's getting kind of trendy, but,
Or Essex green.
Yeah, okay.
well,
Okay,
I could see a green sash.
yeah.
yeah,
Just
Essex
white
green is
With a
almost
white
black.
trim? No, I know, yeah.
No,
That'd be sharp.
I mean, if they want to,
I mean, I'm
it's
not
on
on
the
it.
eye.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
What
That's-
did Sconset say anything about the color of the trim?
No,
Black?
they did,
Okay.
they did not mention the color on all three things.
Apps.
So the next one that takes care of that lot is you, Missy.
It's me.
Oh my
Did
god.
you notice that the plastic shed is gone from Marine Lumber?
It's the Val Oliver.
I
over.
noticed that, I looked for it.
Where did they
Yay!
put it?
I don't know, but it's not in front of the
Did-
building anymore.
Did Ray talk to them?
Oh, I think,
No, Val did, didn't she?
Oh,
no, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you did.
Val put the
Ray
hammer
did.
down.
Were they selling plastic sheds or something?
Yes.
Oh,
Val the hammer Oliver.
Here, TJ.
when do we get to ask a question about something that we supposedly approved? And I wanna ask a question about it. I should have done that at public meeting, at public
Approved.
comment.
Colors weren't approved.
You can make a commission comment.
Commission comment at the
meeting
end.
To discuss something on other business.
Will you remind me?
Yes, I will. This is 5 Reaper Circle. It, north elevation, proportions don't seem consistent with main house, so possibly a dormer instead.
Not really.
Also too high. South elevation looks more like a townhouse than a garage. Looks more like a main house than a garage with an addition of balcony. And that's it, there's no public.
Wait, what was the first part? Because I didn't hear that, John.
The first part on the north elevation.
Yeah.
Says proportions don't seem consistent with the main house. So
Okay.
possibly a dormer instead, also too high.
Okay. I, just for your purposes, on the front page, put
Your.
the main house that's approved with this garage next to it where it would be sitting, so you could see the proportion. Abby, right in the, right there. That's the main house that's approved, and this is the garage next to it, so. I thought that would be helpful.
Very helpful.
Can I see the comments, please, Madam Chair? No, the questions are-
How, a general comment, how high is the existing?
The house isn't built yet, it's a modular coming. I think it's 27.6-ish, 28, something like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so Sconset too tall.
It's at 24, piece of this drawing, I have is 24 feet.
Yep. And it's behind the house if you look on the site plan. Not in front front of it.
Right. So it comes in off the, cul-de-sac. And, all right, Johnny,
Yes,
you got anything you'd like to say?
yeah, this is 8.5 feet on the deck.
Oh,
I'm sorry, it's just, let me look at that again. Almost 9 feet.
look on the floor plan, did I mark it? It's 8.
I'm sorry?
I believe on the floor plan, I marked it, it's supposed to be 8.
Who drew it?
What?
They know the rules and regulations.
It will be 8, but I'll fix it.
It's 8 3/4 feet.
5, 11, 12, 22 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny, is that it?
Yes, that's it, I'm sorry, thank you.
Okay, Steve?
Well, what were we doing with garages? We're always talking about heights,
22.
so
24 is usual
With-
24 is usual?
for
I thought it was
a
22 and
place
24 with the,
with a garage below, right?
yeah, 24 with an apartment.
But this isn't an apartment. It's
Yeah.
unfinished storage.
Definitely is an apartment.
In the
Yeah.
future.
Oh, okay. I'm just
So
looking at what I
just,
got.
just give me your,
I'm just asking my questions. Yeah, I think the north facing, the elevation facing reaper either needs some type of a vent roof over the garage doors or something to try and bring that sense of that gable down. It is next to the main dwelling. This, not that I'm questioning, I just want to clarify, on the front cover sheet, the relationship, the distance of the house and the garage this is accurate.
well, yeah, except it doesn't show you that.
The depth.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, that is
Okay.
back from the
Yeah.
road.
So that will help.
I did have a roof there, that's fun.
Yeah. I think I get what they're saying and I understand why, is because they almost look like they're the same height.
So, you know what, let's, I'll make some mods.
Yeah. Mods. That's my only concern.
All right. Abby?
Just, east elevation, my primary point is that I think it should be, lower than the main dwelling. It's overwhelming at 24 feet. I mean, I don't think this is accurately, I think it's smaller than the main. It looks like it's almost the same height as the main, but.
It's a few feet shorter, yeah,
But I would like it to come down a couple of feet if possible. I would like, on the east elevation, I would like the top and the bottom windows to line up somehow so that they relate
I
right
think
now.
they're supposed to.
Okay, just make note of that they will be lined up together. And I prefer the one with the more spacing in
Yeah.
between the two windows. And I think the spacing of the windows over the garage is a little bit cross-eyed. I'd like to pull those windows a tiny bit apart. You see what on the
Yeah.
north?
Yeah.
And I agree with Steve about maybe a roof could mitigate the double car garage and make it a little bit more sconset-y. Thank you.
Val, the front is
Yeah.
facing down the driveway with garage doors, right?
Yes,
Okay, but it's set behind the house. I would like to see it come down also,
okay,
and on the windows that Abby has mentioned on the east, I would like to see those split a little bit, and I don't know whether is this going to be a modular building?
No, the main house is, this one
Okay.
isn't.
Then perhaps the windows on the west elevation could just be spread a little bit also.
Okay,
There's just a lot of wall there.
that faces the house though too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So are there any other remarks that would like to be made?
They're all comments I made too.
If not,
I
I'll
get it.
take a motion.
Yeah, no comments.
Okay, can I have a motion to?
motion to hold,
Diane, I had a comment.
revisions? Or,
Diane?
Yes,
Yes, I have a comment. I missed something. The 3-6 light windows. There's no windows. There's no window schedule.
Really? It's not on the page with the floor plan? No? Okay.
so I have a motion on the floor to,
What are we gonna do about it? I'm just
We're,
gonna have
I'm holding
revisions.
for revisions, I'll bring one in.
You're showing 3 windows,
Yeah,
all right? No description. What are they? Are they
I
fixed?
just said I'll bring in a
She's gonna add a window schedule,
indoor
John.
schedule when
She's
I
gonna
bring
add
in
a window schedule
revisions.
with the revisions.
That's what I'm asking. What are they?
She's gonna put a window schedule in.
What if it's not the right one? That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, what if they're not the ones you want? Why don't you just ask
I
that?
just asked her what kind of windows.
So
are
the
they?
one in the gable is affixed
Right?
and operable, and the ones down below can be operable or not operable. I don't think anyone really cares.
No, you know how I
Mm-hmm.
feel. So,
So window
I'm not
and door
saying change it
schedule.
for me. The others can vote for it. But I like to see how the case moves along too. I talk as much as anybody else. Right?
We're gonna hold for
Right.
revisions.
oh gosh, sorry.
so
Yes.
that will come
Motion
in.
to
May I
hold.
have a motion?
That's my motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You can fix it. That's the end of it. Now you're gonna hold it?
In the, no, I have to redo the massing.
Yeah, there's other changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And under a porch in the back of a building, I think there's some room for basements.
Talk about it for a while longer.
No.
We're done.
The next one is 31 Old South Road.
These buildings are, so, let's see, probably maybe 2 months ago, the building that sits here was approved to be demoed or moved. It was Neil Parent's former office and Bob Leichter's house. 1-story ranch, and Harbor Fuel owns this. And they put in a road, or in the process of putting in a road and calling it Rupert's Way, so eventually this will not be called 31 Old South Road, so I'm identifying it as what it is right now and the lot number.
It's,
It will
they're gonna
be,
change
if,
it to Rupert's Way?
yeah, if you look at the site plan, it will show you what the proposed subdivision is. I think the idea is the larger lot on the street will be something commercial. And then there'll be these buildings that will be housing for their employees. They're modular.
Oh my God.
And essentially, they're the same exact building with the exception of different colors and different parking arrangement. This one is white trim, white sash, colonial slate, architectural asphalt, and blue doors, front doors.
Aye. It's going like this.
Well, there's,
It's TJ.
Yeah, I could go if you'd like.
Okay,
Shoot.
Yeah, I say I appreciate the height on this. I know it's hard on the modulars that you kept it to 27, even being a duplex. You know, the only real thing that I'd like to see changed is these gable vents to something a little bit more regular, standard, you know. Otherwise, I think it looks fine.
So I'm open to suggestion on that because originally that's where the marriage wall is between the two units, and so we couldn't put a window smack in the middle. I thought 2 vents, which we initially had is like square.
yeah, what about just eliminating them and using the ridge vent?
We can do that. I didn't know if that was going to be too much shingle on the top there.
Maybe make a fake ridge vent. I don't know.
Yeah, you could do, maybe that's like just an applied cedar,
Oh,
either up at the
like in the
top
front here?
or
A
down
triangle
low.
thing?
Well, no, just like I
Or just
wasn't
a
thinking
regular.
that. I was thinking more like a regular rectangular one, but fake, and then do a ridge vent.
Gotcha. So just
so the
apply.
ridge vent was,
Yeah, so at least it fills up some of the shingles.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So,
I don't mind your idea with the triangle thing either. So I don't know how everybody else feels.
I prefer it.
Yeah,
is that
Okay.
it
yeah, that's
for
it
you,
with me.
Abby?
I think the left and right elevations are chaotic in their, the pattern of the windows. I'd like to see the windows line up, the G's and the E's, and is there any way that those C's could be E's so that you don't have 3 different types of windows?
Well, the smaller ones are in a stairwell and bathroom. But we did line up as many as we could. So you're saying
But you see how, well, I see 1 on the left is lined up and 1 on the right is lined up, but the others are sort of higgledy-piggledy.
Okay.
I'd like to see a pattern.
it needs to line up with one on the first floor.
Yeah, something
Okay.
just less chaotic.
I think it can do
The
that.
E over the 1G, are you talking?
No, I think I know what it is. It's these, Abby. This, to either line up
Yeah.
with that or line up with that.
Yeah, as many as you can. I know
Yeah.
it's
Gotcha.
but still, it's gotta, you know.
I didn't even notice that. Yep.
Well,
Steve?
yeah, okay, so I share Abby's concerns about the windows, but I think you're gonna run into problems because your second floor window is a bathroom window in the middle, the east elevation, and the adjacent window to the left is a landing window.
Yeah.
And then below that is the stair area. And your bathrooms aren't aligned. So the below that on the first floor is another bathroom window, but it's offset. Which actually is kind of strange because this,
I think she means these, Steve, not the smaller ones.
The E and the G.
The E's
I
and the
can't
G's
see
and
what
the
they
E's and
are.
the G's.
E. Yeah. It's, and they're, I believe, in a bedroom, so I think we can do that.
which is your east on this? Do you know? I know you're representing a modular, I just,
Hold on. The east is the left.
on your floor plan.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
this one. It's the top is the east.
correct. Yep. So those in the living room just need either shift those or shift the bedroom window. We can figure that out.
Okay,
Yeah, you got enough room, it looks like.
Yep.
okay, so some shiftiness,
Yep.
some benniness.
Yeah.
I think the gable might be, the triangular might be easier to implement, 4 or 5 forces of that, depth-wise, from the top.
Yeah.
And, just the front, can you,
Yeah. What do you say
Speak.
about that?
I'm not sure how to articulate it. I just think it's peculiar to have
The two.
I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Is this a finish? If you're looking at the front elevation,
Yeah.
is the porch a concrete structure, the floor of it, with steps?
No,
No,
Because there's no shingle, there's no trim.
I think it's just drawn wrong. That porch is supposed to go all the way across.
yeah. So the G
So there's a
windows have
fascia
porch.
underneath the
Yeah.
column,
Yeah.
and a deck board, and a
That makes a little
fascia,
more sense.
and a deck board, and a fascia
Yeah,
to the left and to the right.
we'll fix that.
Okay, and then I would just suggest that maybe,
They will fix it.
I think you can change your column so that there's a column in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could put a rail on the left, like you did at the back, with balusters. And then you could do the same thing on the right with
Which elevation are you
balusters.
on now?
It's the front.
Let me see.
Here, just having the way it looks to me right now, it's just very oddly configured with a bay with two doors in it, and a bay. So if you were to break this up, either with a column here and a rail, and even get rid of this column and get rid of this one, and this is just a post with a rail, and
Okay,
a post with a rail,
okay.
and maybe even if that, with respect to your own thing, do you want that even to, is this gonna be open? Which is the front, this one?
Yes. Oh, no, that's the back, right? No, that's the front.
Right, so if this were just a shingled wall,
Oh,
like, so that when you're looking at this, you have a post from the front, but you actually have a separation, and they have this functional space.
oh,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because it just, that's a practical level thing, that's not a HTC
Okay.
thing, but it actually would create a front porch where you could go and sit, and you're not on your neighbor's front porch.
Well, let me work on some revisions. and,
So it's just a concept.
Johnny,
Yeah.
do you have something you want to say?
That's one comment. Where is the front door on the first floor?
Here,
Here?
here and here.
Okay. Now, instead of two doors so close next to each other, sometimes you put one door and you go in and you got 4 feet on each side to go into the apartment.
Yeah, I think that just takes up too much space, but what I did think of is we could maybe separate the doors.
You mean put them where the windows
Just
are?
Yeah.
making a comment. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree with Steve on that
Okay,
triangle.
okay.
If you separate them, the only thing though, you might change the layout inside with respect to pathways and furniture in a living room.
Yeah.
So that sometimes,
Well, we'll
your call.
Yeah,
We'll run it by.
motion to hold for revisions.
revisions, that's the first 31. Do you
well,
want?
so it's exactly the same.
Okay, so
It
we'll,
just, it
Send
has different
comments
colors,
to-
so.
if I could have the motion be for both 17 and 18.
So
Okay.
moved.
We're holding for revisions.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Right.
you. The next one is 44 Nantucket.
Mike Tufay.
He's not here.
Motion to hold for
Hold for
representation, 44 no Nantum.
No.
The next one is Susan Einbinder at 11 Quint.
Net.
Welcome, Matt.
Oh.
Thank you.
What's that? That's me.
Did you graduate emeritus? Is that why?
Huh? No,
Oh,
no, don't you have to,
No,
it's like a
Steve.
title
Bestowed.
bestowed after a very, very, very long,
oh.
Let me just
Career.
read, there's only one remark,
okay?
You're working on it.
which
Trying.
says gas vents not appropriate.
Yes, so,
We've already done this one.
you have, and so, let's see here. Basically, the contractor, they elected to go with the gas unit. And
Oh.
just wasn't aware of the gas top
issue there. So, we were able to get this in front of you as quickly. It just came up on the inspection, so it was basically, it's an oversight. We have some options, but like I said, the first order of business was just getting here in front of you. And there's two actual issues. One is she wanted to actually have the door white, the front door white, which I think actually looks pretty good, but that's kind of smaller potatoes because we can always paint a door. But the other one is the vent cap. And so what I told the contractors, we typically, when we do that, we'll, kind of four posts around it, put some kind of a cap on it. You can actually do a black mesh screen up to 80%, as long as 80% airflow is maintained. We've actually done a lot of research with some of these manufacturers to find out what is allowable and what isn't. So 80% airflow is required. So we can put like a black screen around it, but didn't know if the vent in its current incarnation is acceptable, and if it's not, we're willing to explore options here. We're trying to.
For the
I think
gas,
you have to do something. We just made somebody out in
Yeah,
Eel
these-
Point
Yeah.
redo theirs.
Is this the new thing we're gonna see all the
I
time?
think you are, yeah. And again, it's like I said, we're partially responsible because they switched to gas, and we kind of just assumed they knew that we would, how we typically handle it, and they haven't run across this yet. And so it was everything else they did great work with. But anyways, this came up in the inspection. So, but I do think that, as you know, I think you've noticed more and more of them. There's side vents, direct vents that go on the side of the building, which aren't the best looking things either, but they're less obtrusive. If you see these units sticking out of the top of the chimney, I think it looks a little weird. So I
we
did.
had the way they did it out in Hawthorne Acres.
Yeah. So this was my suggestion. I kind of hatched in. This was an option that I drew to discuss with the contractor who's supposed to be here.
So a question, may
And then
I?
they put the netting on the front so you don't see that?
Yeah. We'd probably you can paint the actual vent black, and then we can also put some screening as long as it allows for 80% airflow.
Is this the best are these the
Front.
best sides to do and not the front of the
So I know that in one of the other ones that we got approved recently, you actually asked us to have some sides solid and some open. And talking to the manufacturers, it's not good.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
What?
To have some sides non-perforated and some sides solid and some open. The manufacturers say you really need it on all four sides.
Can you lower it down a little?
Can I see that?
That was the solution of the
Yeah, that's what we
person
did
that
in another one.
out in Eel Point, where you can't see it, not in town.
Potentially.
Well, so the problem for me is that it's an antique house.
Yeah.
It's on Quinn Street.
Yep.
It doesn't look antique. It
With-
doesn't look like a historic renovation of a chimney. And what was the other option where it comes out the side? I mean, I would like to see the chimney restored as an, you know what I wanna see.
Yeah.
I wanna see corbelling up, simple.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to address this probably a lot now, but, I'd like to know what the options are.
Yeah, I mean the time to do a direct vent, you actually have to have an exterior wall that it goes on. You actually have certain ramifications, so they actually have to get the hot air out of it, and so any 90-degree turn it takes, it reduces the overall length. I think you have like a run of, I'm just throwing numbers out. You can actually exhaust it, say, up to 15 feet. If you do a 90-degree turn, that 15 feet actually gets reduced to like 10 feet. And if you do two 90-degree turns, it drops it down to 5 feet. If you do, so there's all these different criteria. And then on top of that, it has to be able to go, it can't go under a deck and this, that, kind of thing. So it's a little bit more complicated. So the easiest way and the best way to do it is through the roof, but you have to do it in a way that it doesn't look, you can't see it. So I think that in that rendering that I showed you, that option I showed you, I think, I think you can probably find historic precedent for something like that. And if we need to kind of fine tune the details, we can certainly do it.
Am I next? Or John, I guess?
Yeah, but you have.
John?
Yeah. Pass for a minute.
Okay, so Matt, I have a couple quick questions for you. Do you know the actual diameter of your flue pipe? The reason I ask is I don't see any indication here through your second floor plan of where it comes up. It's like there's the built-in closets. And some of these with the direct vent now are like 4 to 6 inch pipe. So the cap is actually smaller. So I guess, so that's a question. And then the other thing is I would comment is you can, the height of these should be able to be lowered. I mean, even if it's double wall flue, it should be able to be lowered. A lot of times what happens is you get to the top, you terminate with your double wall flue, and then the cap will slide over it. And then, so that's where you can adjust your height. And if you could drop the 6 inches or so that it looks like this protrudes up past into, I presume that this is a masonry bedding at the top of your cap. So you'll lower that, and then I don't really have a strong feeling about the enclosure other than I think it should minimize the presence of the cap. I will say, and I don't agree with it, but historically it's there. We were looking at these through the roof metal chimneys. It's actually more historically correct that it just be a metal chimney than it be a masonry with a metal cap. But those are typically very much on like almost minor, secondary, almost like tertiary structures, not the primary. So, I mean, I just want to mention that, but I think this needs to be shrouded. I've drawn details on these before. You can definitely hide it. I think you're on the right path with the enclosure that you've made. I mentioned the other stuff just so you're aware of it. I don't,
Madam Chair, can I just, this is John Wraith, he's the contractor.
There you go.
So I gave him like an intro and kind of said how we kind of arrived here, and it's kind of new territory. And
so John, those are my comments.
Right.
All right,
Thank you.
Matt,
See that, Steve?
just so we have the thing is, what's the age of the house?
off the top of my head,
It was
I want to say 1920s or 1900s. 1900, I think.
Okay.
I'm going from memory, Diane. I'm sorry,
All
I
right.
don't remember.
And the existing demo is on the west elevation is going, and the next one up above is staying. It says previously approved. So where, this is the west elevation.
Now,
Okay, now. So
Nothing.
those little roof thingies are gone. I don't know, we had them drop the metal thing in the flue out there at Hawthorne Park, and the one that they tried that with, it worked. We didn't, the rest of them, we thought it was easier having it open on the sides and closed front and back. So, does anybody have anything specific they would like, or shall we make a motion?
Can I, Madam Chair, could I just ask if John could say a few words, just because he just got here, because on the technical side of things?
Sure.
Thank you.
Diane, I appreciate your input there. However, one point that I think you really need to be aware of, everybody needs to be aware of these gas fireplaces. There's multiple different manufacturers, as you all know. And there are, some of those manufacturers have their own specific pipe. Most of it's double wall. And some of them use a company, in this case, we use Duravent with an Ortol unit. So they, in a perfect world, it'd be great if these things could be recessed down into, so you didn't see them at all. But because generally the double wall is basically allows you to have makeup air and exhaust in one pipe, the pipe has to have enough clearance around the sides and the top to be able to work properly and fuel the fireplace. So sometimes there's just really no way around that, and they're not interchangeable pieces. From one manufacturer, you can't use one from another because it voids a warranty, or it may not even work, period. That's the way these things are engineered. So as I understand it, are we looking to, I'm sorry I came in the meeting late, are we looking to lower the height of the current cap that's in there?
Yes.
Is that the concern?
We don't like to
I
see
also
the
have
metal cap
I
larger
understand.
coming out
format
of the chimney.
versions if you
I
want.
understand.
Just a
So
larger format of the reduced.
we do
setbacks.
have some options
That just
from the
show the
manufacturer
caps.
to lower the cap, probably by what's in there, by, I would say probably 4 inches. The cap that's on there is a high wind termination cap, and but we can, which is 12 and change in height, and we can basically lower that by 4 or 5 inches probably. So that would bring down what we're doing with the brick corners, and then we could shroud the inside of that with a kind of an open mesh black screen. And if it was all painted black, I think it would become a moot point. I don't think you'd see it at all. I mean, I drove around the last few days, and there are endless terminations, as I'm sure you all are aware, of like this all over the island. And we were caught a little bit by surprise by it, frankly. But I see where you're all going. A lot of the
They were
chimneys,
probably put in without
yeah,
any approval.
well, I know. It's I know, Val. I'm not here to debate that.
We just need a good solution
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
problem.
I think
Well-
what Matt's proposing will be fine.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And
and
the
if
one,
we
one thing I was just going to add to that, I think that the way that our drawings show it too, I think that when you paint the actual top black and you put the black mesh in there, I think
Yeah.
truly it'll just look like a black
No,
hole.
the black mesh won't reduce it less than 80%.
It has to be. We have to kind of come up with a mesh that is.
I would
still maintains 80%.
Yeah, and I would suggest it be like a dark gray or something. Don't go black. You're going to actually make that to the extent that's you've got visibility through there. You want visibility because then it's just sky. It's not like brick black, like a black hole type of a thing. And I think the mesh is going to create.
Like the water
I don't
tower.
think
Is
you
it better
need the
to
mesh.
skip the mesh?
Which
Maybe
is
just
why
go.
I would just
gray?
go with a dark gray flue and leave the mesh
Like a
off.
dark
Yeah.
metal.
Because you're gonna have the mesh, it's gonna be
Yeah,
right
yeah.
up close.
Yeah.
It's gonna draw. It's
It'll look
literally
more
gonna draw
fake.
your
Yeah,
attention.
good point. That's a great
We
point.
can,
And gray. So
Yeah,
okay,
just a
so
gray.
you'll know when it's coming out. We are trying to have control over the vents coming out of the chimneys because they come all different colors. Some are shiny.
Yeah.
like
I would say it's becoming more and more prevalent. A lot of
I
clients
know,
don't want to
and
deal with
hopefully
like
people will
wood.
think ahead.
Do you need to put a hole in the cap?
Sorry, what's the
Do you need to
hole?
put a hole like a
the top?
roof
Or is it, does it have a cap on it?
No, these particular caps they have a rain top on them, so it's really the makeup air is under one edge and an exhaust air is, I don't know which one's which, but one has intake and one has output.
So this will be a blue stone cap or some other
Yes.
stone. Is
Can
there a
you-
stone that you have on the site that you're using now?
No, I think
Anywhere else?
No,
So that it can pick up a design detail from the house?
I think it would be blues. Everything that I've seen driving around that are built like this, they all appear to be blue. They all appear to be blue stone.
No, that's
You know,
cool.
Can you-
I think it just must be they must work.
Just, I'd suggest that you call it out in the drawing so there's not a potential problem at the.
For the stone type.
Can
Yeah.
you
blue stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
corbel the top like a regular chimney?
It's kind of, I mean, well, we thought about that, but there's no real, they would never take a masonry cap. It wouldn't be made out of brick. Oh, I see what you're saying.
You can't bridge it with brick.
No, I didn't want that, but Abby wanted the chimney to look like it had been a working chimney, and then this thing was dropped in, which,
We could probably corbel like the,
Yeah,
as it goes
that's-
up so that the 4 posts are the brick. And then it goes up like a course, and then maybe the second course projects out a little
Yeah.
bit further, and then the blue cap on top of that.
that would be good. Then it looks as if it was put in after the chimney was constructed and in the age of the house.
Sure. Yeah, it'll look great when it's done.
It seems fine for, well, it doesn't seem fine for this one, but because now the chimney is, how much higher is that whole thing? It's sort of ruining just wanna bring this up because if this starts happening, all these chimneys are going to be that much higher.
If,
And
yeah.
it sort of ruins the profile of
I
the,
mean, you wanna bring it down?
Yeah, they're gonna bring
Yeah,
it down
I-
Well, that's a
4 or
good
5
point,
inches.
yeah, I think probably moving forward, just, you have to have really accurate drawings on what's being used in these applications.
yeah, how do we get people aware
Yeah.
of
I mean,
this?
the issue too is like, when we're starting, it's like the gas or wood burning is not really a big, critical issue. So a lot of times it'll be, it'll
Plus,
be,
it's different manufacturer.
And if they make a
Right.
change, then
Something we
anyway,
have to
so.
think about.
I know.
We put it up with our mini splits as,
Yeah.
these are no-nos.
Yeah,
Well, it's clearly become more prevalent, and I think to Abby's point, it is something, and to even the applicant's co-app agent here, it needs to be worked out in advance. And it's not on Matt so much as it is that we need to,
Yeah.
Come
I don't know,
up
it's
with a
some-
policy.
I think you have to, no, I mean, I think,
No,
I think the reality is that if you are gonna go with a gas unit or wood burning, you have to design your chimney cap so that either one is. So
You have
we
chimney
do have to
cap.
go back,
So-
if you decide to go with
Well,
gas, you have to go back to the
fire
HGC
stations
for
are
it.
8.
well,
That's what it comes down
I
to.
think the question that we might ask people,
Yeah.
and it might be on our application, since it's being redone, as I understand it, is whether it's gas or wood, fireplace or chimney.
Right.
So
And
that
how is it?
we know that we need to pay attention to when we look at the application stage, and we can say, well, you know what, you gotta figure it out and specify it, because it's no good to come back and try and design this after the fact when
Right.
we don't have options.
I agree.
And there could be more historically sensitive places, so Abby's point, I think, is really important. And on this one, so we're talking about what, John, if you look at this, so what we see here is, and what I was referring to, is a lot of times the double wall flue is below.
Yeah.
And then
Yep,
this is actually this is a little bit wider diameter and it slides down over it.
Yep.
So what I was talking about when I said lowering the cap was not necessarily getting this portion shorter, but lowering, so you remove the
Yeah.
open metal
Yeah.
portion.
So Stephen, the other problem with all this is that, and we've done a few of these, and every time we do them, we hate them because they're a pain in the neck. So I understand what you're talking about, but the unfortunate thing here is it's not like a piece of wood. The sections and nipples and extensions are all specified sizes. So like they're only in increments of, they go to 48 and 24 and 32. So you get to a point where you get to the top, like you end up with so much either above or below that you then twist on the cap. So you can't get like a 2-inch ring or a 1-inch ring to bring these things down.
So this isn't a shroud type, this is actually an interlocking portion to the main flue?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so.
yeah, and then below that, Stephen, there's this primary like a, I don't know what you would call it. It's like an oval shroud that like gives the first weather stop, so the water sheds off of that. So I appreciate 100% what you're saying, but it is mechanically difficult, and I think this backs into you moving all down the road. Is that if you really have section detail drawings, what you could do then is you could adjust the brick to accommodate the stack. But you got to start right down at the bottom where you're bringing it up because
Or not let them happen in town.
yeah, I get
Yeah, just
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's inappropriate to have a section drawing that details that, so you guys working out in advance. I think you're right, this is gonna become more and more.
Yeah.
or chimney, I don't know if it's like something on the application too, whether it's just like gas or,
I have a comment.
it
Yep.
says type of brick.
Right.
Dawn has a
I have a
comment.
comment. What I'm saying, this is previously approved west elevation, we'll say right here. This is existing. Now, it's just colored, you're not existing, you're not taking these out. The
Sorry,
only
that
one
was
thing
the
changed is the
original.
window change.
Yeah, it should be that was the original status of the structure. So if it says existing, it's misleading. I apologize.
When this is done,
What you looking for?
now, looking for the other one of this.
That was the
That's all on the
original.
same sheet. That's
That was the original.
pre-construction.
And then you went to this one,
Then we went to previously approved.
to this one.
Yeah, and then now we're asking for
Thank
that.
you.
And the only difference is that.
On this. But my question is this,
That was demo.
right, this is what you want, but where is the,
It went away at the previously approved.
This was part of the demo. The pink stuff they demoed.
Originally.
being demo?
Yeah, what happened a long time ago.
In other words, it would look like this one.
Yep. Yes.
Thank you.
All right,
Because I
so
thought it could be seen.
Yep.
So we have a motion, do you want to hold our business or through staff?
I mean, I think, I would suggest, we've heard that it can be lowered 4 or 5 inches, that it will have a bluestone cap, and that it'll just be a gray, painted gray, and I would add not shiny. I personally don't have an issue not seeing it again doing it through staff, but that's just me.
I'd go with that.
Let's do it. We've only
Make that
gotten 2
motion.
approvals tonight.
What was the very last?
Sorry, thanks for
Great
your
eye.
time, sorry to
Yeah.
take up so much of
Bluestone
it.
cap,
A gray, not shiny.
We're so busy.
gray,
You are busy. You guys are busy.
Okay,
You're never
No
not.
matter.
all those in
Just
favor?
painted.
Approvals.
No mesh, just
Aye.
painted. No
Aye.
mesh, right?
No mesh.
No mesh.
I didn't.
Just
Yeah.
painted.
1, 2, 3,
Aye.
4, 5, aye, okay.
Tear down the house.
Do you know what to write there?
Your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got, I know, yeah.
It's gonna be a busy old business.
Sorry, geez, I didn't know it was coming up.
Sorry, it's like leading up to it.
That took 20 minutes.
Are you sure it wasn't 21?
Yeah, right.
Thanks, everybody.
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yep.
One more important topic on the agenda.
Yeah,
is to
bye.
see-
21.
I think we need a timer.
Oh.
Way back in the old days, we did that.
Yes, I would like to add that to the next agenda, is a timer.
Scary thing.
I
And
think,
not
I think
march
John
around
used to-
with guns, making sure that they all.
John used to be.
What does that
They're supposed to.
Oh, I know, you're talking about the type of device.
well,
Matt,
Yes?
I think it's too big for the lot in the house that's there.
Okay, should I start?
Applicant?
Yeah. So, well, I figured we'd start with this. So,
This is Westchester, right?
yes.
Okay.
So if I could just give a brief introduction, Madam Chair.
Yes,
So this is an existing garage, 97 Westchester. I have some packets I put together. Abby.
Thank you.
thank you.
Smaller than the primary mass.
Right? It's over 24 feet, over a garage,
It is over 24
with a
feet.
cupola.
Well, that's scary.
So
It's way.
basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the lot. It'd probably be great to look at it. I know some of you probably are familiar with it. And so this is an existing one-story structure. The owner is looking for some more space for himself. He's got a growing family, his kids are having grandchildren, and so that's the idea behind it. So this is definitely our first pass. Val, I know what you're saying, but with that, I'd love to hear everyone's perspective. We do not have a lot of we don't have any additional ground cover. And so we're kind of up against that. We thought that the cupola aesthetically worked. I think that the two buildings actually work in concert better. And that's why I want to provide you with this supplemental material to show you both the relationship between the primary and the secondary. One other thing that I think is worth pointing out is that because of this topography, this abuts Westmore Farm, Old Westmore Farm. So if you're familiar with that road, you go up, and there's there's about 8 or 9 feet of topographic change there. So the finished floor of the garage, as it stands now, is roughly about 3 to 4 feet lower than the finished floor of the main house. And so when we look at the building independently of the main house and the topography, I don't disagree with you that it has some height to it. But again, it is a garage. And so when you look at the two in concert, I feel like they actually do play well off of each other. The cupola we thought was just a kind of an additive element. I thought it added a little bit of character to the building, a little bit of identity to express its utilitarian nature. Anyways, I could go on about it. I think the supplemental material I think is helpful. It certainly was for us when we were studying it. With that, Madam Chair, I'd love to hear the board's comments. Thank you.
Okay, I got one thing I'd like to ask so that they all hear, is what is the height of the garage?
The existing,
No.
No.
the proposed. You know what? It's not on here. I'm really sorry. If you have a scale,
23 and a half feet.
33 and a half? No. No way. Huh?
With the cupola or without? Without,
No way it
I
could be
think
33 and a half.
I think this is,
25, I think.
It has to be
it's too
24.
much.
From here, it's, well,
How much is it
24.
on there?
It says
Just under
25 on the
24.
application.
With the cupola or
23,
without?
23.9.
East and west. I think.
Yeah,
23.9.
but with the 3
Apologize
feet,
for not having it
then
on the drawings.
where's the
It's
scale?
23 feet 9 inches tall.
I tried to find
Matt, I think you may be going to the secondary ridge if that's what I'm looking at.
just,
Just,
no, this
yeah.
one.
That is okay.
Yeah, so it's
All right,
It's
my
just
bad.
25, just to be,
Yeah, no,
I don't want you,
apologize.
I know you wouldn't be doing it to,
Abby was putting
Was
the
this-
scale in the wrong
Oh, is
location.
this, sorry, is
Just
this,
kidding,
I didn't
I'm
know
messing
that
with
was bulking out more. All right,
He's
25.
correct. It's 25.
okay, just to,
Nope, that's
so you're not,
accurate.
I don't want you to be in a
Appreciate that. Sorry.
Okay.
So do you got a height?
25, Diane.
Okay.
The gable. The,
Who's on this one?
You.
Me, you.
oh boy.
Well, we're here for comments, so.
Yeah, no, it looks like a small, Wisconsin casino.
So who's ready to begin?
I will.
All right.
I think that it needs to become much more secondary to the house, as it is a garage. For instance, on the west, when you're looking at it, there's just so much mass on, actually, it looks like a 3rd floor. The cupola should go, it's just way too over stylized, I think, Matt. And,
Okay.
On the south, which is, I think, what faces the road?
Yes.
There's virtually no fenestration at all, except for this very tall door with a transom on it that does not read like a front.
It's called a rocket ship.
And I think that losing some of that deck in the back, because that faces a road too, right?
Not, I mean, if you look at the site plan, that's why we put that where we did. Some portions of it are visible, but I think that again, the south elevation is the portion you see the most.
In general, I just think it's too much. I'd like to see it
Sure.
come down and not overwhelm the house. It's- yeah.
Abby?
Right, north elevation, it is a rocket ship. With that gable coming, you said that's on the street, that,
Yeah.
is there any way you can widen that, or those sort of Victorian windows are even making it more shoot up? Anyway, I would address that gable on the north elevation. I think it seems to work on the west. I guess that's a different gable. Sorry, never mind. I think on the dormers in the roof, the C dormers are making it too complicated, and
Okay.
you don't really need them. It calms it right down if you take them out. It just sits quieter. Again, on the north elevation, the all the balconies and on the left side there, the staircases, all the balustrades are making it more complicated. So I don't particularly mind the cupola. I think it gives it a little character, and it is a farm-like back there. I think you're gonna have some other opposition to it though.
Sure.
Yeah, I would like to, just in general, have the height come down and make it less complicated.
Okay. Johnny?
Yes, number one, I think the proposed cupola should disappear. Highly inappropriate, I think, on this style building. And the other is the C and D windows, awnings. And one is a fixed awning and the other is C is, and the D is the other one. I think they ought to be made fixed and forget the awning.
Okay.
Okay, where is the front door to the apartment? Whatever it is.
No, and what do you think about that?
First
That
floor
all
plan.
doors that are- Did you?
Double doors on the side. Okay, which elevation is this here now? And put, that is.
Just a door.
That's the door, okay. What do you consider the front door on the lot?
You know, John, it's not very clear, and that's by design. I mean, I think that because it's a garage, it's a unique structure. It's more of a utility structure, if you will. And I didn't want it to compete with the main dwelling. I think the main dwelling has a very defined front entry, where this structure,
Yeah.
I think the primary door I would submit to you is the garage doors themselves in the west elevation. All the other doors are really secondary and not intended to draw attention to themselves. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so, Matt, I think, I agree with comments that have been made in terms of style, maybe perhaps a little over stylized, maybe it could be simplified. Could be fenestration, it could be the doors, it could be the way the brackets relate to the corner boards. It could be a number, it could be shingled sidewall versus baluster. I do think that height-wise, if you could squeeze some out, that would be good. However, I appreciate the fact that if you look at from the packet you passed out, if you're looking at the west elevation, which is the cover sheet, the front of the primary facade of the house, which is that small hip roof addition, is 70 feet from the front of the garage doors. So there's a huge difference in depth. And the distance between the same elevation, the difference between the main structure, the distance from left to right, and the garage is dramatically more than shown because it's the face of the garage is further back by some 15 or 20 feet than the rearmost portion of the house. So I think the perspectives help to tell that story. I would ask that the other commissioners keep that in mind, but I think if you were to do a bird's eye, I think that might be beneficial. I'm not discounting the fact that the height should come down. I just want to point that out because I think it is an important consideration. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Can I make some more comments?
I was gonna make one,
Okay.
but you make it first.
I just wanted to say, I'd like to also view, because, again, there are no structures of this magnitude in front of houses in this area that are supposed to be secondary, not houses, and just garages.
Madam Chair, can I just clarify? Are you talking height, Val?
I'm
Or-
talking overall massing.
One thing they mentioned was the new dwelling on the corner of Pilgrim and Westchester with a garage was kind of right in front as a point of reference. But anyways,
I
point,
think
point
that
taken.
was maybe considered, Matt, that it wasn't that address and they had to put the garage
Yep,
somewhere.
I hear you.
And
just-
that's what,
We talked about that a little bit, and one of the responses I got was.
I
that
mean,
point.
if you can make this simpler and drop it a few feet, like nix the decks, the one over the garage doors, take the transom off what's not supposed to be a door, drawing attention to itself, get rid of the cupola, and it's a very plain sort of carriage house type of structure. It may be passable, but
I certainly would vote.
I think I have enough.
I certainly
feedback.
would vote for
I
it.
would just want to say something, okay?
Sure.
Yes or no?
On the south elevation, I'm sure it's been mentioned to you that those windows need to be, the ski windows, they need to be regular size. They need to be
Yeah,
if you can put them in there, because that matches the house which you're right next to.
I got you. I think I got some decent
Yeah.
feedback.
Motion to
So
hold for revisions.
I
Okay.
appreciate your comments, and we'll
Thanks a
We'll
lot.
see you in a week.
Well, no, you haven't finished yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got,
Oh, sorry.
you got 22 Madagasham.
Yep. I thought you meant finished with that out.
Well, yes,
It's just almost pretty close.
You have to vote for it one way or another.
I am, yes.
yep, so
Yes.
we have the vote for holding for revision.
I made it.
Alrighty, all those in
Interview.
favor?
I,
Aye.
oh, did you
We're
want a
gonna
view
do
on
a
that?
view,
View.
It was already on the view, but I'm gonna go back.
another view.
Alright, just you're on this side, the next one up?
I believe so.
Okay.
Me too, Madam Chair.
Why?
Hashtag.
You want 5 people on it?
One,
have five.
2, 3, 4, Johnny's 5.
1, 2, 3, 4 regulars.
Oh, yeah, thank
I like
Just
that,
keep me on
I
your
like that
toes.
blink in his eye. Yeah.
Who's got something to eat?
I got
This
grapes
is
here.
grapes.
Fried
I got-
chicken,
Memorize your stuff.
fried chicken and cold beer is
Betty
coming.
White.
Wow.
I'll
I
take a
got
leg.
popcorn.
Can I have some of your
Teasing
drink?
us, teasing us, Steven?
This is all organic.
It's coming here one way or the other pretty soon.
Let's see the secret part, then back.
We held for revisions and a supplementary view.
Oh, I don't remember what it looks like.
There should be photographs in the file.
It's written out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's,
Pepper.
You already got a new one approved, right?
sea
Or
salt
no?
and
What's
vinegar
next?
Or no?
chips.
So, shall I start, Madam Chair?
Yep.
So this is an application for a move/demo of an existing home. The subsequent application is for a new dwelling in its place. The existing structure, I believe, dates from the 80s. It's not designed by any significant architect that I'm aware of.
View on this?
No, we're-
Okay.
We're hearing it right now.
Has anybody got any thoughts of
Pictures?
Yeah.
We submitted them as part of the application. Sorry.
She's got the pictures over there.
We can add it to the
beware? In '95, it sold for $470,000. In 2019, it sold for $3,037,000.
400,000.
You're gonna total it all out, right, Matt?
What?
You're gonna tear it right down?
I think we're gonna move or demo it. If we can find a home for it, that would be preferable, although given its location, I think it'd be difficult to take out, so. But we always, we actually have to advertise it.
Yeah.
And it isn't, you never know, so.
Well, you had some of this in pink, which is usually your demo, and some
No,
in
that's
blue.
the assessors.
That's the assessor's, that's a property card.
Okay. So, who wants to begin? You want to begin?
Oh, no, I wanna look at the pictures.
Oh, sorry. Here you go.
It's close to one of the 3 bricks. I mean,
Oh.
it's significant.
This is what we
Close.
probably should do though for the new.
A view?
I think so.
No, because there's a lot of houses out there that are.
For the new or the
No,
existing?
for the new, not for this.
Oh,
I have no problem with this.
Does anybody have any problems or have a?
I haven't seen the picture yet.
Oh, Johnny?
The application is for demo move or for new dwelling. That we're gonna look at.
Demo move first.
Demo move first and then the new dwelling.
That's no,
John, who used to be on the HDC, the old man, he used to come down right
Wagley?
This
Exactly.
one, this is a demo.
His house.
Yes, yeah, and it's the structure in the middle. Madam Chair, too, there's also an existing garage apartment and then there's like a little kind of existing bunkhouse that are existing, and those are remaining. And currently, they're all basically connected by like just a one-story deck, if you will. So they're and the intent is to keep the other two flanking structures and essentially replace this one in the center with something.
Do we have any
with
idea?
A one-story.
Do we have any idea what's gonna take place?
Yeah, right here. That's next application.
That one?
Yep. It's a one-story structure,
Thank you.
And connect up the
just like the old one was. Yeah.
outside building.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's like a rambling.
so let's have a motion on this one.
A motion to approve.
All right.
Second
Aye,
that.
everybody.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No.
What was the motion?
To approve the demo
Approve the
move
demo.
off.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
So the next thing is the house.
Is it?
I think so.
I think so. I actually went home for lunch.
I do
someone
know, I
shot me with a
definitely wanna
tranquilizer
view
dart.
this. If you look at the footprint of the house going and what's going there, one story or not, that's quite
It's twice
large
high.
for this area.
Thank God you didn't do a two-story.
Yeah, no, we actually.
I know, but look at the footprint. I think we should view it.
I'm all for view.
It's,
It could happen.
I
So,
mean, that's significantly bigger.
well, yeah, so one thing, so the intent here is that, this is a family that's lived here for, I think, 15 years.
Demo or the one with
Children are getting older,
They
grandkids,
were
they're
right
getting
here.
married, et cetera, et cetera. So, but the existing house is just in not great shape. It's moldy, it's got no, it has no, foundation, like rat slab or anything
Valerie,
like
do you have
that.
the photos
Was it,
from the previous application?
no, we'll get it that.
The previous, do you want
circulated
to, I
to
think
you.
John wants to see the photos of
I
the
thought I
existing.
shot him over to you, sorry to
Is
interrupt,
it
No, no problem.
on a cement foundation or has it got a basement?
It has a block foundation, but it's just wet, and so the house is just it's just wet and damp, and everything's pretty nasty. So, what was very important to these owners is that they wanted a one-story structure, and they didn't want it to look large. Val, in terms of footprint, it is larger than the original existing house's footprint. Not by, I think, a large margin. Primarily, I say that because the existing home is a two-story home. So in terms of total square footage, where this is actually a reduction, and I was just very happy that they wanted to stick with a one-story. It is an elevated first floor elevation to provide, because there is some program in the basement. But the intent was that it's not a full two-story structure. The other piece is on the packet that we've supplied. You'll see that we've placed the existing guest cottage or garage / guest house, quote unquote. It's a fairly simple structure. And then this old kind of, they call it the love shack. It's a little tiny shack, but it's kind of nice. And so we thought it was important to kind of maintain that placement between the structure. The north perspective, I think, our north elevation, I think, is obviously what you're going to see from the road. The back side of it, again, unless you're in a boat, which you're on the south side of the island, and you're actually up on the bluff there, I think visibility is pretty minimal. Anyway, so I think that the primary visibility or from a public way is on the north elevation. We tried not to over fenestrate, try to keep the masses simple. Obviously tell a story of additive massing. There's one central mass with these two kind of gable ends, if you will. Try to keep the detailing fairly simple. We know where this house is, and that's not too over detailed or stylized. So with that, Madam Chair, look forward to hearing the board's comments.
South faces the water.
Correct.
Okay.
And the elevation of the grade compared to the ocean, there's probably at least 20 foot drop, at least.
Down to the beach.
Down to the beach. It's a pretty steep, and there is some erosion there, but not a ton. But it's probably more than 20, to be honest with you. So again, visibility, you'd have to be probably, you know, maybe a quarter of a mile off the beach to catch a glimpse through the first floor.
I want a view before I make comments.
Okay, we have one motion for a view. So keep that in mind. So comments are made until it's reviewed.
I wanna compare it to what's out there already.
Mm-hmm, that's fine.
Do you need stake poles on either
No,
end?
no, it's not anything to do with the height, it's
No, the-
just
the-
that
the
it's
width.
really wide,
Yeah, but
I
do you
don't
want them-
recall any out there like that. No, because the two buildings he's keeping are there, so you'll see the envelope
Okay.
and, the elevated first floor part. I just wanna see what's around it, I haven't been out there in a while.
Mm-hmm, that's fine. They're gonna be helpful. It's a bit of a hike.
He's doing.
Well, I've got some comments, Diane.
Beg pardon?
I've got some comments, even
All
though
right,
we're doing
you-
a view. I just think that even though it's viewed from a boat, I think it's overly fenestrated on the south side. I think it reads quite nicely on the north side, but I think, you know, from a boat,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of glass. So I just wanna throw in that punch. And, no, I think the idea of a view is a good way to go.
Okay, anybody else have something they want to say before we take a view? John, what would you like to say?
Yes, looking at this thing here, this preliminary, I call it. The north elevation, I think that the whole structure is gonna be seen somewhere because it's only 177 feet from the bluff. I think on the north elevation, the second floor, center, the two light windows should become 3/3. The south perspective, which I think is visible unless we decide to view it, the same thing. The center should be 3/3. The transom should disappear. There's then no architectural feature to this structure. My other question, the front door ought to be more changeable to a noticeable door than like a 6/6, or a wooden door with the 4 lights on top and panels below be more appropriate.
Okay.
And what is the band board on the north elevation, left and right ends? You've got band boards across here. What purpose are these for?
Just purely aesthetics, just for looks.
Thank you.
Very shallow,
And what is the length of the roof?
metaphorically. What's that? Sorry.
What's the length of the roof?
The length of the roof is, let's see.
44.5.
Yes. Yep.
What?
44.5 roughly, 22, 21.6, so 43.5, somewhere in that range. Roughly 44 feet,
So it's under the
50.
50.
44 feet. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Has everybody spoken?
Just a couple questions
Yeah.
or comments, I guess. On the, south elevation, is that concrete for the foundation? Exposed concrete, or is there gonna be some other kind of,
Yes,
okay.
be parged.
I think it's a good idea to take a view partially because, I know this bluff pretty well and you're not, it's at least 20 feet.
At least.
So you're not gonna get the greatest view from the south elevation unless you're in a boat and binoculars. With that said, I do think the south is over fenestrated. Could have some reduction on the glass. And the stainless steel cable rails on the
All around.
north perspective may be seen.
On the
North elevation.
Madam Chair, can I just?
Yep.
Is that, so what we did, we've actually done this before, the ones on the north are actually wood.
Okay.
Horizontals, and they're mahogany, so they're pretty dense, so they, but the ones in the front are just, they're horizontal, but they're wood. Anything visible from the road would be wood.
Yeah. I just,
And that's it?
I think that it's hard to make those dormers up that are twos into 3/3, because there are no 3. There's nothing with that number on the whole house. So I think they would look sort of busy up there, I think. So we'll take a motion
View.
for,
Sorry.
We'll take a motion for a view.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right.
the demo is approved and this is being a view, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
It's 7 o'clock right now before we go into doing 9.
You could hold mine at the end, let these guys get out of the way, get home.
I liked it before, but now I really like it.
I knew you would like that.
Let's keep,
Just,
I'm gonna leave soon.
yeah, soon.
We don't move along.
Let's go, let's just do a quick break now, and is that good with everybody?
I'm all set if everyone else is.
I can just,
John
I
probably
can,
wants one.
I can just
John,
go.
take a break.
Sure.
Okay, go.
Run.
You wanna pass over it?
We're gonna pass
Yeah.
over it?
Yeah, let's just go,
Yeah,
we're
I
almost
could go.
done.
Keep on going, we might get out.
We can finish these, we only have like 6 more.
Okay, so this is 9 Liberty Street.
Nothing to do next week if you do it.
No,
I'm gonna do, TJ,
Yeah,
you're
could
gonna
you,
do the other ones.
maybe somebody
Or
made
do
a
you want to go
motion
down
to
to
hold,
11 East?
you could hold mine for the end.
Okay,
Motion to hold 24 through 28 for the end of the meeting.
all right, all those in favor?
alright,
Aye.
Thanks.
The
Tell
next
John so
one
he gets
is 11 East Street.
11 E Street,
Liberty,
This
we're
is
skipping,
the
TJ.
south. But no quorum, she was there by herself.
No, TJ's going to the end.
It always has been. South. Are you listening?
What's that?
I said, I'm reading
Oh, okay.
the single person who sat in Nantucket.
Okay.
It said removal of dormer cornerboard inappropriate. This inappropriate house needs definition in order to break up unending mass. That's the south. East, front door, totally inappropriate. Widen or door and side lights. Atypical in the first place, as HDC has not approved side lights when door has glass as well in 20 years when I was on HDC.
But that's already approved,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
already-
even up for.
Why are we even getting into
I
that?
think they
Already
widened
approved.
the side
Don't.
lights as
They
they
are.
changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were.
Widening exacerbates this.
What exacerbates?
The widening of the front door, the glass and the side lights is
Well,
not
now it
approved
was on
by the HDC in the last 20 years.
It's yellow,
She
Nantucket.
was on it when
But
it
who
was
is it?
approved, right?
Linda.
That's it.
Okay.
Self-exacerbating.
Yeah, so this is a bunch of cleanup, and in my opinion, after the house is about 80% framed, and the corner boards look busy when I looked at a mock-up. And here's one of the dormers that's approved. This is a computer rendering, but there are a series of shed dormers that are on here, and the corner boards look really clunky. And the building is busy, but with a lot of single-story masses, and the corner boards to me just outline the dormers and emphasize something that we don't want to emphasize up high, especially since the trim is this dark gray. So that's the genesis of that. The front door is in a unique location because if you look at the site plan, and I'm showing it to you upside down because the street is here, right? The dead ends there. The street dead ends here. The door is tucked in this elevation, and it's recessed under a porch. And when we started looking at the size of the door that got approved, we ended up with like 3 inches of shingles left and right. And what we're doing is we're just eliminating the shingle to clean that up because the door looks.
Can you show me that again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Tucked back
The front door is.
Not visible to the street.
Yeah, the front door is right there.
You can
Make
pull
sure
in
you
here and walk
show
over.
John, just.
Yeah, so. And I know the rules about side lights and front doors with glass, which you guys approved last time. And in a few cases, we're making some windows smaller that are also on inside corners. Really trying to.
The C windows you're making smaller than what was there.
Yeah, there's a large picture window that faces west.
Yeah.
That was, it's about 5 feet by 5 feet, and that got reduced by 6 inches. I mean, you're not gonna see that from the water. I guess if you're coming in to the harbor, you'd see that window. But again, if you look at the west elevation comparison, the window's underneath the porch, and it's smaller. Most of it was the corners. And then there's 2 windows on the south elevation on the far left side of the plan that got slightly wider and one got slightly taller because there was a lot of different window sizes on that elevation. So we picked the C window, which shows up elsewhere, and just made them equal. A lot of this came out of doing the door and window schedule and working with the manufacturer to try to simplify some things. So that's the change on the south elevation. That's those 2 windows. So if I run down from east to south, the east is just corner boards and then the front door thing. The north is corner boards and the kitchen windows shifted over to the left a little bit. The corner boards. The west is the window making smaller and the corner boards, and the south of those 2 windows that we had match each other. They were adjacent to each other but different sizes previously. I don't think you'll see those on the
The
south.
board things that are
That was
on
approved.
the south elevation, are they slide and protect those windows in the winter time? Is that why they're there?
No, they're just, they were approved as natural cedar. They're there just to break up the elements of the house, so it's not just a continuous wall of shingle.
Oh, they don't move.
That's what we thought they
Right.
were.
Oh, yeah, they don't move. There are some movable shutters on the on the south elevation. Correct, yes. Those
These are south.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong elevation. Those are slidable, and they protect that fenestration.
The big window and the G window and the.
That's correct. The
Doors.
the 4-unit French door. Yes, those are operable. They slide over it because they're sort of barn elements.
I would motion to approve this.
Yeah, I was gonna
Taking the corner boards away is making it simpler and
Yeah.
quieter,
I agree.
and you can't see that door.
You can't see the front door. And the change of the windows is better to seize.
And what's the color change you're making?
Oh, there's no color change.
Oh, it says color change.
Oh, maybe because Linda wanted me to change the color. Oh, I thought maybe she commented on it. No, there's no color change.
Is this already framed 80%?
Oh,
You
wait,
said,
that's-
or
It's
41%
80%.
to get a
Second
good
floor
view.
deck is on. The gable, the plate heights of the shed dormers are up. The rafters aren't on the main mass yet,
yeah,
but you'll get a sense of it.
get the massing down. Yeah.
Yeah. The guest cottage, no, but the main house.
Okay, we got a motion on the floor, Diane.
Okay, I just was reading
Wait,
her
what about John?
thing. Again, John, do you have something to say?
Just one,
Yep.
these here, eighth of an inch. Right?
The elevations? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, are they labeled quarter? I'll talk to my associate
We all
about
make
that.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Common error.
All in favor of my
Aye.
motion?
Aye.
Everybody ready? Okay. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next thing is 12 Creek Lane.
Fisher's Landing.
I worked on something for these people once.
Oh, the Kiss, yeah, they own 16.
Steve, this is you, right? Is it
Yes,
Steve, right?
this is Steve.
12 Creek Lane.
That goes down to him.
Here you go.
Oh, God, this is good.
Oh, is that, does Nantucket review that too?
Are
Well,
you ready
there was no
for?
quorum, so.
Are you ready for the no quorum one member?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's non-contributing, it's not appropriate. North elevation, glass indoor, double side lights no appropriate. Should be one or the other and narrower. Full light door, to left, panes wrong. Windows not centered in mass. Look at left side, 8 light window with question marks. East window pane size, chaotic fenestration. Then, west elevation, the 2 large windows are proliferated and inappropriate, masquerading as doors, too much glass. What is that 8 light? South elevation, 3 windows too large, 6 different window styles.
missed
That's
She had a
8
party.
windows with question marks, chaotic fenestration, ganging overdone, overfilling of lot side to side, not a 2/2 window style house. Eve height of additive massing should not be the same as main house ever.
Ever, it's
Motion
not.
to approve.
It's not. Does it say motion? Yeah, I'd like a copy of that. Well, so this is in Fisher's Landing. Fisher's Landing is a cluster subdivision, right?
Yep.
So there's, no one will ever max out their ground cover, and we didn't try. The other, so that there's 3-foot side yard setbacks in Fisher's Landing, 0 in the front, but no one seems to go there, and 50% ground cover on lots that are a half an acre plus. So you end up with houses that are pushed back from the street and are, you know, they almost take up the full width of the lot in a lot of cases. This lot, in addition to having the side yard setbacks, there's an agricultural easement that's across the back of the entire lot. And the client has a program to do this sort of a farmhouse style. This is the house. It's hard to see sometimes in elevation, but there's a primary mass in the center, and then there are single-story wings. The eave of this secondary mass is lower than the primary mass. And this used to be called, this was a farmland at one point, so setting aside Linda's comments about the front door and the glass and the side lights, I think it's an appropriate approach to 2/2 massing. The house in plan is a zigzag, so you can't view the fenestration that she referred to, the oversized picture windows, are internal to the property. You're not gonna see any of it from a public way. The only thing you're gonna see from the public way is gonna be the front elevation, the front massing.
You sure?
I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, you're gonna see some of the side stuff, but the large windows that Linda referred to, or the tall windows that are masquerading as doors, those are all internal to the property. They face the courtyard that is defined by the building footprint. And happy to have you go out there and take a view of it. I know it's a lot to digest in one sitting. This is the oblique view of that front piece. We'll be applying for this shed structure at some point. And this is the view from the back. So there.
So to her, as we know, we don't always agree with everything, but
Right.
what you have in front of you that's 3D does show that this secondary mass has a lower fascia, and this on the drawings we have does not.
Oh.
They're perfectly even.
Well, that actually, you know what? We must have changed that after we submitted it. I dropped that a foot actually.
So,
from the main mass.
I think view is a great idea, because I just want to refamiliarize myself with the neighborhood. It doesn't seem as though there are many houses this wide, but I take it back until I see it. I don't know.
Right, and the width of it as a footprint, it does go left to right. We shrunk it up a little bit. I think it's about 7 or 8 feet on one side and 5 feet on the other side. But those are single-story masses. There is that taller mass on the left-hand side there. And I'll include some sheets of 3D models at the next meeting, so each of you has those drawings in front of you instead of me holding them up, if that's helpful.
And I also want to see if there's any garages on the street in front of the houses too. I know you're not applying for that yet, but I see it on the.
Right, there are on the Grove, that's the name of adjacent street.
Yeah.
There are a few where the secondary structures end up forward of the primary structure.
Do all the houses go from sideline to sideline?
No, they don't all go sideline to sideline. I'm just reminding everybody it's a cluster subdivision, so it's actually intended to create density on each of these lots to preserve the open space of the development overall. So and by virtue of the fact that they've eliminated the side yard setbacks down to 3 feet, there's sort of an acknowledgement that these lots, the houses are kind of squished. They're going to end up going left to right.
There's none out there that really do that.
And if you drive through there, take a look. Even there's 16 Creek, which is this client's property, 18 right next door to them, goes left to right, and it's a full 2-story. There's a drive-under garage at that house.
Yeah, I think
they got to do a slow drive through there.
I would motion.
Okay, so we have a
Hold on,
motion.
you guys, please. We've had a lot of talk and discussion, and no one on this side of the table's had a chance to say anything.
Oh, sorry.
So, you know,
All right, well, she did make the same thing that you made before. You speak and then Johnny
John, would you
will.
like to make a comment?
One comment, deck's 9 foot out, not 8, that's all.
Okay.
The rest of it looks pretty good.
I think a view is a good idea. I think the sideline to sideline is too much for this area. And I definitely think that the whole thing needs to be moved back so that the garage and the structure are no further forward than the average of the other structures along the street. Thank you.
Abby,
I'm for the view.
okay. You have one big window in there. Very much like the one in the earlier East Street. And I think that faces the water on the west elevation.
On the previous project?
No, on this project.
Oh, there isn't. I don't think of the water as a reference on this one. There's no water.
There's no water. You can't see anything from creek?
No. You don't. We can't see any water, and it faces Nantucket Road, versus the
Okay.
harbor side.
So
That's the other thing to keep in mind on the view.
it's interesting views and interesting little streets they plunked in there. Well, thank you. We will have a motion for a view. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming. So the next one is 3 Nosegay. Rooftop solar on,
Front of the building.
Yeah, you got us early.
Making an
We're
easy
getting
one.
grumpy.
No, it's good.
this is Sconset,
Hey, Zach.
and it says no concerns because it is not historic and difficult to see.
There you go.
That's cool.
I'm not on the
This is
big
the view from the
That's the front.
Way over there.
Solar's on the back, right?
Zach Dussault representing the colors.
Oh, so it is.
So these are on the top.
and the dormer.
Would you like to start?
It's a solar garage. It's a garage, so it's not a primary. It's highly screened from the street. Everybody knows Nosegay starts right at the end of was it New, I believe. And you just drive straight through. But it's also shielded from the bluff lock through the main house and a bunch of other screening trees. So we're just trying to do a little solar on a pretty well hidden structure.
And what, just, you will be asked, what are the color, what are the colors, or what is the color of the solar panel?
They're all going to be all black.
Black.
I believe they're on the last page of the application.
But the roof is not black,
The roof is not.
What is the roof?
gray.
Existing gray.
Oh. Oh, okay. Are you on this?
That'd be Jesse.
Jesse, okay. Jesse,
I know what some of the board might say on this, but I'm just gonna go with the Wisconsin Advisory Board on this and say no concerns.
okay. Abby,
You know, I know Wisconsin pretty well, and I can't put this in place in my mind.
You want a picture?
Yeah,
you've got some
I've
good
got
pictures.
some pictures, but is it still there?
It was like reckless disregard for your own phone there.
It's a crappy phone.
So,
It's the beater
Zach, when you, thank you, Val. When you look, say you're on Shell Street, where's Shell?
What is it? So when you come down, is it?
Where are you gonna view from?
Yeah, all right, here we go.
Shell
So we're
Street's
coming
here.
down.
Okay, Coffin, yeah.
Looks like
Oh,
a
I see,
driveway.
Intersection
okay.
there, you go
It's a
straight
big driveway.
Yeah.
through. and
Yeah,
it's
and then
Yeah,
you
I
look
don't
up
really
their
recognize
driveway
it.
and
Weird.
their garage
What's
and
this
stuff
building?
is right.
Here.
That's the neighbor behind them, I believe. And the main
On the
house, I
one-
believe, is up here for them.
Okay. So so are you saying you can't see these
There it
from,
is. I've been there.
from Nosegay?
Nosegay, I'm not sure, is that a private way? It's a traveled way, so that's a
Yeah.
photo from Nosegay
Okay.
during the winter time.
Doesn't go far, doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. And
I think to be on the safe side, I'd just like to take a peek. I
That's
think
okay.
a view is sort of a good idea here.
This structure is just outside of the old historic area in Wisconsin. Nosegay is just
Yeah.
outside of it.
You know that.
It's on the map.
So, Johnny, what have you got to say about,
Yes, that's what I had to say.
okay,
You should view it.
okay. So,
Steve, are you on it?
No, I'm not on this one.
To be consistent with my consistency on these, it's the front of the building, it's not blending with the color of the roof, and it's not a well-traveled street, but it can be seen from the street, so I would say no. But I'm the minority, I know.
well, we have a motion to view, right?
I would like to see it personally, but
Yeah. So, we try and have, on occasion, when we have a solar roof like that, that the roof
Be all black as well.
is all black as well. I should know, I should remember when this roof was
I think it's
re-roofed.
original, so it's kind of right on the border of possibly they might consider
Yeah.
So I
You
can,
might, in
I
the
can
next
bring it up with them.
Week,
While you
just
guys do
chat
your
with
viewing.
them. It makes it look much calmer
I
as you look
agree.
in that driveway. And if people wander down that street, that's where they end up looking, cause that's what's there, so it becomes a fairly viewed thing. So at the moment, the motion that we have on the floor is for a view. All those in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay, we will do that, see what you can
Sounds
do.
We'll see.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
Thanks. Thank you. Take care.
Okay, the last one is 11 South Shore Road. Aaron, explain.
Evans South Shore Road.
Welcome.
Where is that? Good evening, everyone. Good evening. 11 South Shore Road. South Shore Road is right across from Fairgrounds when you cross Surfside.
Yeah.
You know
This is-
where the
We
disaster
all
is gonna
know
occur,
where
yeah, we know.
South Shore Road
Okay.
is.
All right. So
Yeah.
11 is right in between the two 40Bs
9
and Sherburne
and
Commons.
13. Oh,
So you got 40B, then you got the Surfside crossing, then you have 11, then you have Sherburne Commons on that side of the road.
what? I gotta get ready. You're about to-
So what I would say about this, Chip, because I went out there,
Yeah.
is this gonna be screened?
They're
Because
next.
there really isn't anything, except for that barn farther down that's of this stature with third floor dormers right on a corner. This is on the corner of Wero and South Shore,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
Well, shall I do a little quick presentation?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Chip Webster on behalf of the applicant. This is actually a project for myself. The reason the applicant name is different is because I have it under agreement. I haven't purchased it yet. But this will be a house for myself where the first floor will be my office and the second floor will be my apartment. It is on a 1 acre wooded lot that, as we just mentioned, is between the 40Bs and Sherburne Commons. I'm buying it from Mary Beth Splain and Jack Weinhold, who own the adjoining lot and have required a 20-foot vegetative buffer to keep around it to help keep it natural. The building is pretty self-explanatory. It's a two-story building,
Three.
whatever, great trim, natural side.
The right of way that goes down there, this old sewer one,
Yeah.
is it not through part of your property there?
No, that goes over Jack and Mary Beth's property.
Oh,
You're talking
further.
about that sort
I know.
of, yeah, that's kind of goes kind of behind the back a little bit. It's like a path, yeah. That's not on this property.
That's the old sewer bed road.
Right.
Okay, is anybody ready?
What colors?
Great trim.
Okay. I would just say too that you're over 30 feet on your plan.
Okay, well, I will definitely fix that.
If you can't see it, it's fine. I'm just questioning it because it's so tall, if you see it or not.
So the buffer is along South Shore that you were talking about.
It's actually along South Shore, along Wero, and then along the property line between my property and their property.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Comment?
Yes.
Mr. Hedden? On the application, what is your roof pitch on the dormers? It's on the stairs, 3-inch pitch.
3.5.
I'm sorry?
3.5.
There you go.
You're pretty good. I like your little chart. Did you?
Yeah.
You make that?
The only one in America.
Sign it.
Anyway, I'm just saying it, should be made at least 4 or more.
faces the road?
I'll go ahead and give you some feedback.
Okay.
The only thing I'm looking at here is, like Val, I think, said, is the height. I'm struggling a little bit with the paneled surrounds. I think that maybe if you beefed it up a little less. I mean, I think they're fine, but I think like the trim just seems so beefy around them. And the dormer windows don't really seem to fit into the dormers. So maybe you should just have a look at that. And I think otherwise I'm fine with it.
Alrighty.
I have one other comment, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I missed something.
Uh-oh.
The
Jack?
the deck,
Yep.
This is
so 14 feet. 8 maximum, basically. And the front door is not of a style, it should be right in this building with your 2/2 windows. There's too much glass in the door, the front door. Thank you.
All right. Abby.
Congratulations, by the way. Pretty cool that you're making your own
Yeah.
house. And I appreciate that I know you're got your quirky architecture going on. So I'm looking at the front door too, and but it's Chip Webster, so I'm thinking, I'm thinking that because it's so, I don't think you're gonna see the first floor, but I'm concerned about the height, and I'm concerned about the dormers in the third floor. I think that the dormers in the third floor are too heavy for the structure, and I think if this gets passed, and I think it's a nice design, I just think it will make it a better design to have it, the dormers smaller.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that everyone?
No,
sorry.
next. I've spent 25 years going up and down the street every day. And I think it's a very nice house, but I think it is, to me, it's too formal to be. You have Maggie Meredith's house, which is tucked in just on the other side of Beth Blaine. And you've got Chris and what's her name up at the end, Linda, and you have the wedding house.
The big house
is the only house that I can think of is at the end that formal as you come down. God knows what's going to turn up next, but even further down, the houses are more naturally built to go in the area and what they do. There's barns, but even the barns aren't that tall. I don't see very much additive massing in here except that one little wart to the side. I think it would be good if you could cut out the dormers, perhaps because they make the top of the roof of the house so busy. And on the south, the doors, are they sliders? What are those A's?
They're windows with
windows.
panels.
Like
Here,
a little
windows and then
Windows.
panels underneath them.
Right.
Well, I think this, being that they are sort of mulled together, I think that's a busy facade. You got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 windows sounding. And I think it needs to come down, and I'd like to see it just a little simpler. If you drive all the way down that street, excuse me, until you get down to the sewer beds and off into Morgan Square, do you get sort of houses that are bigger and they're right on the water, and even that isn't so big. So that would be my opinion, that's all. So you were going to say something?
Yes, well, first of all, thank you everyone for the comments. So since I have submitted this, coincidentally, my budget is probably not even gonna allow the dormers. So, and it seemed like everyone had an issue with those. The other thing that I've had an opportunity since submitting this is walk the lot and spend some more time on the property. And I've decided I want to move it back further so that it's, and put in an S driveway so you don't see it. I want to, you know, embrace the woods and so forth. So I don't know if it would be okay with you or not, but I would propose that if it's okay with you, I'll eliminate the dormers, make sure it's under the correct height, and it'll be back halfway on the lot with a curved driveway.
That sounds excellent.
And the stuff grows pretty well there.
Yeah.
So your planting it you put on the street up to the house will help to to break that up.
Do we wanna see this again? Do we wanna see the revisions? Or do we wanna do it for?
Yeah, I mean, just to see the driveway.
So motion
Okay.
to hold for revisions?
Minor.
Well,
Minor ones.
slashing off those dormers.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I'm glad you didn't like them. It made my decision easier.
All
I like
those
it.
in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you take care.
All right.
Keep an eye on here.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Steve, you're on this. Thanks. And the next two.
Bringing
23.
the color wheel out here.
23, the Boulevard is first.
What's that?
It's a new garage.
How about 9
No,
Liberty
9
Street?
Liberty.
Oh,
New garage. 23 Boulevard?
Steve?
Oh, thank you.
It
What happened
says
to 9
minor
Liberty?
alterations.
Well, just a couple little changes.
it's, okay,
Mostly color
this
change.
house, it is contributing, and they say it has incomplete applications, historical information needed. We need a date. It was moved to this site from Lion Street in 1880. The entry is this is the, I think it's north elevation, might not be. Entry is totally inappropriate in design. Entry should remain as is. The shutters and cladding not appropriate. No evidence for this. Naval blue not appropriate color. And that is a full board. Well, Angus wasn't there in Brooke, but 4 people were there, and that's what they say. So you got that?
Yeah, duly noted. You know, this house, we submitted some historic photos for. I think you have them in your packet. In one of the photos, you see the pent roof that exists now, kind of with the Second Empire corbels on it. And in an earlier photo, you see I think it might be the same roof structure, but they have these lattice partitions, possibly with a bench inside.
Yeah.
So they wanted to sort of emulate that, but they wanted to be an arch. I kind of suggested we put it back to the way it was with the kind of roof structure with the lattice, but they really wanted to go for the arch. We'll leave that, to your discretion. I don't know if there was ever clapboard on this. I'd probably not, but there is clapboard houses on the street, so we thought it could be appropriate to do like a platinum gray clapboard, and there's a proposed door change to naval blue. It's a Sherwin-Williams color, but it's basically navy blue, and add shutters which would match that color as navy blue. So you'd have that platinum gray, light gray with navy blue shutters and door, basically.
That pent roof with the lattice partitions, I think that you're right, they're probably with two little benches.
It looks like it,
Yeah, I
yeah,
see
shallow
one on the
benches,
left.
you know?
And this one is of July 1919, but the door is a little harder to see. It has a little pent roof, but, so, okay.
So the things with the clouds are just from some other plan, right? Other drawings?
No, well, yeah, the black clouds are, the red
Yeah.
clouds are mine though.
Okay,
Sorry about that. Those were a vestige from the last application, I'm sure.
yeah. I'll go.
Okay.
If you want. I think I agree with the comment about the entryway,
Can you see a hydrant there?
especially with the little peace sign in the front, or it's like, looks like one of those circle shop windows or something. I don't mind it going back to what it was, perhaps, but the circular thing, navy blue I like as a front door, and I've actually seen a lot of those. I'm trying to think if I've seen that as a shutter color anywhere downtown.
No examples come to mind for me, but
Yeah.
not to say it doesn't exist. But.
Right. And I don't know how I feel about the clapboard. Kind of indifferent. It would be this type of house that would have had clapboard at one point if they decided to.
What's the date of the house?
But no.
19 something.
None
It's
of these pictures
1880,
have-
it was
Yeah, it
moved.
was 18 something, late 1800s.
1880, it was moved from Lion Street over there to Liberty. What is the roof made?
It's asphalt.
It is.
Oh, you mean the pent roof?
No, the
small
roof on the whole house.
Yeah, it's asphalt. I think the pent roof is probably like a rubber or copper thing or something.
And there's no chimney.
You know, there's not.
Alright, well that's not on this application, so let's go.
We do know there used to be though.
Abby?
I'm on it actually.
Jesse?
Just
I feel like we should try to preserve this building to what it is and was, and by saying that, keeping it with the like in the pictures, kind of not the arch, like the flat top on the entrance, and keeping it shingles. I don't mind navy blue as a color, certainly for a door, but I think the shutters are also not in any of these photos, right? So, sorry, but I feel like, it's a historical building, we should try to preserve it to its original state.
all right. What do you think?
I think navy blue is kind of, well, I've got some colors here that are historic. I think the Newport blue with the platinum gray would be great.
What do you want, so sash?
He wants to paint the shutters and the front door, and
No, Newport blue.
and it's I mean it's close enough to.
It's not too far off, because
Navy.
that's the color
No.
we're.
And that's an acceptable color, so nobody can make it. I don't really need proof, but that I agree with the clapboard going to platinum gray clapboard. I agree about the peace sign, but there is one house on North Liberty that has a semi-circular, whatever you call that thing, pergola, over the front door. You should check it out, because it could work. It could be a lot more subtle.
What street is it?
Does more of this. It's at that intersection where you come down Gardner and you can either go to Lily or North Liberty. It's right there. It's painted like a bayberry gray, and it's got a really nice arch that's very simple, and it's a lot simpler than so
Those are my comments,
All
Madam
right.
Chair.
And Johnny,
Yes, there's 49 windows in this structure. That's my comment, thank you.
It's a lot of windows.
I think the lattice work also, being on the right, bottom right picture is small crosses, and the one you want is very large. It looks like it might be overpowering. Up to you. Thank you.
Jeff,
I already went.
okay.
Steve, you're on this too. This Fox, TJ's out.
Who else?
One, two.
Me.
You're gonna have a moment like I did.
So just, I don't know if it
No,
was
it's
clear,
really
they want to change from shingle to clapboard, it's not
Did the
clapboard.
exact same thing a couple.
Yeah.
occasions.
I'll throw my thought in.
What's
I
the
think
motion?
that it's a historic house that goes back to 1880. Unless there is some proof that it did have clapboard, by when you take the shingles off and you see any of the
Extra nail.
clapboard or the wood that supported it, I would personally stay with the shingles. I don't think the dark blue, I don't know where you saw dark blue on, even on the front door.
There's one on center.
There's a few of
On
them.
center, I'll have to go down and
I
see.
actually got it.
Probably one on orange too.
On orange?
Probably.
Okay, well, I'll drive by and see. It just not particularly caught my eye, so, the shutters, is there any sign of shutters on it before?
Not in any of the photos we found, no.
Well,
But it's not atypical to the neighborhood,
No.
we can say.
no, well, it was moved down from Lion Street, so,
Motion to hold for some revisions.
okay.
I think it does need some cheering up though. There's something about this house. Definitely the pent roof that's on it now is really depressing. And I think doing something to the front door and what's proposed is actually quite nice.
It's always the best of times back then.
You think the clapboard is nice,
Yeah, I do.
even though there isn't any backup proof that there was, right?
Well, that's
John,
my
what do you think
feeling.
of the clapboard? Would you?
Clapboard? Can go either way, you know.
Me
You can
too.
have it both ways.
All right.
I see how many houses on Liberty are clapboarded.
Yep, well, I'll do a little inventory. I'll
And-
check it out.
Tell me what, I don't remember, I was
Can we?
trying this up about the chimney. Is there a chimney in the
No,
back
there
wing?
used to be. At some stage, it must have been removed, though. There's none on either on the back.
And nothing in the house?
No.
Motion to hold for
Revisions.
minor revisions.
Yes, minor revisions. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The archway is duplicated on 5 Quince Road, Quince Street.
Huh?
Yeah.
I thought there was one
Yes,
on Quince.
yes, there is
Yeah.
one on
All
Quince.
right.
No, but I'm gonna leave if we don't stop
Quite nice
talking,
Quince.
we gotta
and
get
move along.
Is it the old? No. Isn't there a school on Quince?
Yes.
Yeah,
And is that the one that has it or
No, no, across the street, there's an old, there's a beauty. Thank you. And then that one I told you about it. North Liberty.
okay, the next one is the 25, the Boulevard, 23, the Boulevard, garage.
It's making my hair itch.
You get the next three.
Yeah.
Motion
all
to
on property.
approve,
Thanks.
but I guess let John see what he has to
Yeah.
say. This is so simple.
Very straightforward little 240 square foot garage, little V-groove door. Everything matches the main house, the colors, the materials.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Motion.
Okay,
This is gonna
so-
move fast, John. This is gonna move fast.
Chop, chop, motion to approve.
All those in favor?
What should be window? Pitch window, yay.
On it.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, the next one is, 40 Squam Road.
And these are revisions to old approval.
Minor.
So what happened on this is we had a pool house and like a shed garage and a new pool approved for the bottom part of the lot. And what we realized is we were a little bit over the 50-foot line for the wetlands with the pool. So what we ended up doing is making some like massing changes to the pool house so we could back everything up and slide the pool back to within the 50 to 100 area of the wetland. So you'll see on the pool house, we took the pergola off, we made it 6 foot longer, and just made some fenestration changes. It's basically, looks about the same. And, I've got some photos of like the streetscape in the area, just so you see that, there's a lot of natural vegetation, and it's gonna cover pretty much the first floor of the structure. So you'll kind of see like the top row of the shingles and some dormers up above the shrubs.
Way in the back.
Yeah.
He's changing,
Oh, it's on the side.
he's taking the pergola off
Yep.
and the
This is what
shed.
faces the road.
He's changing these windows.
And I changed the massing a little bit with there was a bump out there.
Outside that swamp road. What was the other one we looked at?
This is gonna be highly screened, correct?
Yeah, there's a whole
I see.
section of,
I see in your plan where you're
yeah.
supplementing.
We're supplementing the screening as well, yeah. With just natural stuff. That wasn't me. Probably somebody said that,
On the west elevation, which way does that face?
The west elevation faces away from the ocean, so it faces into the lot.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
For some reason, you have all those windows, 5 windows, up from 3?
Yeah, I made that dormer bigger so they get more light in there. I didn't think it would be that big of a departure, especially since that's the side that faces away from the road and all.
That you can't see very well.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's next?
Okay. So, Johnny, do you have anything to say?
No, that's right.
Steve?
Thank you.
Abby?
On the west, I like the previous windows on the second floor. But
The smaller ones, yeah.
yeah, I think the proposed west ones. I don't mind them on the first floor, but they look a little vertical.
I can switch them back.
Which I mean, that's just
Keeping the number 5 of them, but
yeah. I mean, if you can fit in as many as 4, I just think the vertical ones are a little bit too vertical.
Sure, that's fine.
Does anybody else agree with me on that? I don't want to
I wasn't as concerned because they're not visible, but if they're, I think it's a legitimate comment. It's just the degree of visibility. I totally agree with you.
I'm
They're
totally
very
for
vertical.
let's do it. Let's change it because I think that they'd like that better anyway in terms of furniture layout.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve changing the west elevation to, what do you think, 4 of them then? What are they, 6 over 6?
3 was the original.
I would say just switch them for the original windows.
Yeah, switch to the original window type, right?
Or just keep that?
Yeah, I'd like to keep 5 of them, but switch them to the original size.
Okay, so there's no change in the dormer on the west elevation.
Yeah,
So the windows would change to the original windows. Substitute original windows in the dormer for what's proposed. Is that what you're?
It's previous.
To be
previously
the original
approved.
side or the
Yeah, but you're going back to a smaller dormer and less windows, and he doesn't want to do that.
No.
Yeah, I want to keep the dormer the same size. Is that what you mean? Or?
Yeah, well, that's why.
Oh, Abby was saying the dormer as proposed doesn't change, just the windows. Correct?
Yeah. This.
I'm just saying switch those windows to the other.
Go back to the original windows.
That's what I thought.
That's all.
Through staff, right?
Yeah.
Through staff, yes.
I think I'd word that as go back to the smaller size from previous, not.
Are these your window schedule?
But that old type's not on it anymore. So.
Okay.
But
The C's aren't.
Because going back to the original windows infers the 3.
No, the original window size.
Okay.
Size.
Size is the magic.
Okay.
Size matters.
All right. Aye.
Aye.
Johnny? you going to vote?
That's fine, yes.
No.
Okay. And that's through staff. Now, the next one is the pool. Are you coming?
Garage. Yeah, we.
Okay, sweetie. See you. All right.
Is this the last one?
No, there's one more.
So with the garage, we switched it from being a shed to a garage, and we just shifted it on site. We shifted it kind of south of the pool house so we can shift, again, make room for the pool and get it within the 50-foot line.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, this is no brainer.
I know that.
It's just a little garage.
Oh, and we also did, I think did we add square footage to it? Yeah, we did.
It's the
We
same
made
one
it
that
wider.
we just looked at.
Whatever.
This is from, there's another
Aye.
one coming with the pool.
What do we,
And they're
what's the
voting on
motion?
the motion.
To approve.
Just plain old approve, right?
Plain old approval.
That it? That's it?
There's one more of the pool application.
Oh,
The pool.
okay.
Swimming pool, not billiards.
Oh, man. That works.
It works.
I meant to say dunking pool.
So on your site plan, TJ, you still have the pergola.
So that's the previous approved plan on the right.
Oh,
I don't know if I said that right.
It's
Sound like
okay.
I
Pretty
dyslexia.
good.
Hey, we're
It's
getting.
close enough for tonight.
I'm fine with this.
Oh,
All right.
well, if Val's fine, I'm fine.
And you know how
You're
I
voting.
feel about pools.
I know.
Pool, but this
No, look.
Tell me why they need a pool with
Previous
the
approved.
Previous approved.
Why does somebody who
This
lives
is
in
the new
Cisco
one.
and can walk to the beach
This
in
is
3
old.
seconds need a
This is
pool?
I don't know.
previous approved, and this is the new one.
Because they got
They're just moving it.
We're just
away.
shifting it a little bit.
insurance on
I
there.
got to put that roll top.
Yeah, we're gonna do that too.
Roll top.
Okay.
Okay,
I made a motion to approve.
approve.
Nice job, CJ.
No, we
Hey.
don't
Picked a
need
good
any
night.
fence.
Aye.
Aye.
Well,
Alright.
you did a nice job.
John, Jerry, nice job.
The next thing
Nice
we have
job.
to, do you
Yeah.
want us to approve the minutes of May 30th and June 4th?
So moved.
What did he do?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The, so, those guys?
You were
That-
gonna make a comment
so
on
we
the
approved it,
commissioner's
didn't we?
comments?
I think,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I was gonna remind you to do something.
You didn't. And now I have to do it by myself. On the corner of Cliff Road and Crooked Lane, has anybody seen that house with the French doors right on the front of first floor? Did we approve that?
Yes, in 2002.
Oh,
He
I
doesn't.
don't even know what that
2002.
is. Space
Somebody had already
Odyssey?
inquired about it, and
That looks
What, is
so
it
bad.
just because
on
the
it.
vegetation's gone now or something?
I don't know. Looks so
yeah,
That
bad.
might be
corner,
it, maybe
they
they-
knocked out all the vegetation which was in front, which there
That's
was a
why you didn't see
substantial
it.
amount.
Oh,
I think.
so
Isn't
it's,
that,
and they just reshingled it and so it looks new?
They did some renovations. They
Molesko's,
changed a
isn't
few.
it?
They changed a few windows and stuff like that. Nothing.
There's
I thought he
something
was across the
very
street.
unfortunate about that
But they
because
just cleared out
it's,
the whole lot and made it.
don't wanna start a
don't
precedent.
Well, hopefully they put some of it back.
So do you know who
It's
voted
It's all
on it?
green grass.
2002?
The sitting members in 2002.
All right, let's move along.
Wait,
Do
I have
we
one
need-
more. There's extensive renovation going on Hoax Hollow. I don't know exactly the number of the street, but I think the name is Welsh. And I think
As
they're-
opposed to Welch?
That's Jack Welch's house, I think, isn't
yeah,
it?
Welsh.
Oh, it's Jack,
Yeah.
it's Uncle Jack's house?
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
and they're
recuse.
working on it all the time, and I've never seen anything come before it. Could you check that out as a detective?
Sure.
Because it really
Oaks Hollow.
rips me up.
Do you have a guess on an address?
Well,
You can't, listen, you can
maybe
see it,
20s?
it may be in the Hoyt Hollow, all the way down, goes down to the golf club. It's got tennis courts.
Yep.
So see if we can look up what the swimming pool or
It was
the
right
whatever
in
they
front
wanna
of
call it. number is.
Where they sell the Christmas trees.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
then it goes up to Sankaty Head Road, is that what that?
Did they move it?
It's on the right.
I think so,
It's
yeah.
on the
down
right-hand
Hall
side, it goes up to Walnut, Black
Do you wanna
Walnut.
Yeah,
do
yeah,
the
yeah.
HDC
Okay.
time thing today or next week?
No,
You
that
have
was
to
just
notice
added.
it.
Okay.
And, the sidewalk work group did not meet this week, so I don't have anything to add to that, but it will. What is the discussion of the National Grid Distribution Reliability
wait till-
Project?
You skipped over Vineyard Wind, Madam Chair.
Oh, well, I caught my
Oh.
eye down there.
Oh.
You could talk about Vineyard
No, I
Wind.
just refer you to the previous, is asked if anyone has any questions.
Yeah.
No questions?
Is there?
Okay, so for the record, again, no questions of the representative?
I got
I don't-
remarks,
I
but
don't have a
those
question.
aren't good.
Just
Yeah,
very
but we can't talk
informal.
about whales, where this is the Historic District Commission. And then, there's some ongoing meetings on that, so,
There's a
no,
closed meeting on, when's the Board of Selectmen?
we have an executive session on
How,
Thursday.
how can you have an executive session when this is not a contract and it isn't a personal, due fee? There are only certain things you can have. Real estate renting,
I would refer you to the agenda, Madam Chair.
That's what I
Which-
said.
what's this agenda or
The-
their agenda?
The executive session agenda.
Motion
I will.
adjourned.
Oh, I like that.
Will you hand me those?
All right,
So
unless we're
moved.
not done with the list. I don't know.
No, we're not done.
Oh,
Oh, what else?
The National Grid,
What is the National Grid food distribution reliability project in regards to new utility poles and overhead wires?
but I don't know how we can discuss it when
Should all
we
be
have no
underground.
idea what they're gonna look like.
Oh, that's true.
so John had submitted, John had sent out, John forwarded, our,
Sent that,
John
yeah, at least
Haddon
twice, I emailed that out,
submitted
a butter
information
notification
to
letter,
the commissioners,
which was sent to
which
us.
was forwarded from National Grid. And there's gonna be a public meeting on it,
Next Wednesday.
26th at 6 PM or 5?
Yep, 6 PM downstairs.
And I would suggest that we, at our next Tuesday meeting, between now and then, get informed as much as we can. There are some on Liberty Street, or where's there some new poles?
I think it's Liberty Street, yeah.
Would you mind
Someone-
checking and
someone-
emailing us
someone
where to
had sent me
look?
a picture.
But is
Yeah.
that exactly what they're gonna be?
I think what I would suggest is that if, John, you wouldn't mind just checking where the new
Yeah.
ones are, and
Yeah.
then we emailing us, and then we inform ourselves so we can discuss it Tuesday. That's one part of the suggestion. And the second part is that if we feel they're objectionable as the Historic District Commission or otherwise, we would act accordingly as stewards under the act to take a position on the matter. And if we don't, then we don't. But I think we should.
I think that's a very good idea, but I thought a long time
You okay?
ago when they put the
Okay.
wires underground,
They were
that
supposed
they
to put
weren't supposed to do, what are we paying
Well,
I don't,
$20 a month for putting the wires underground and they don't do it?
That would be the question to ask them
that
at the
is
hearing.
such a good question, because they were supposed to put those up in Sconset, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, they said they were going to put them underground.
I got a feeling it's gonna come up.
Okay.
What, that they're supposed to put them underground?
Yeah,
What did you do? Did you just hurt yourself?
Did you just do that?
3 times.
3 times.
Diane, I have a comment for everybody. If you get a chance, go through, say from Pleasant Street, you go to Pleasant Street to Pine Street, and you go through and you end up at the wood box.
Yeah,
Right, when you have to stop there. Look at the right windows on it. It's what do they call it? The synthetic materials. They took pieces of fiberglass and they screwed them to the wall over the outside of so the rain don't go in. The old broken windows. It's a mess. You gotta take a look at that.
why,
I'd
the
love to
windows
see
were
that.
broken?
Yeah.
The windows were broken at the wood box?
At the Woodbuck, yeah.
Is the
On
Woodbuck the
side, right on the side
Gambrel
street.
next to David Barham's
Yeah,
house?
it's a
or-
little old Barney type.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Isn't that the
You
old
got a,
restaurant?
It
you got a
is.
Band-Aid or no?
Yeah,
It's now called 29 Fair.
What the hell are you doing to
Yeah.
yourself?
They have
I
like
got you.
international.
You gotta stop,
anybody
stop
eaten
eating
I
the
went there for
processed
breakfast
food.
on
Bob's
Saturday.
Motion
You
to
don't happen,
adjourn.
do you?
Yeah, I
It was
Thank
definitely
you.
the day show.
everybody.
And we found out what was wrong in Trinity. And we're working on that, but the,
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
tonight, it changed me into
A bionic man?
Game over.
vegetable diet with all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, good for you.
Beans,
Fiber.
Give up
Damn it.